Yes, yes, yes. What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as That Midday Show. Yes, she's back. That right there is your girl, Adara, and I'm Sharif. And we already have a couple of OGs hanging out with us in the chat, mainly Chase Bands. And obviously, the world's greatest moderator, Bears versus Bulls. We got Charon Tej and Pillsbury. Day Trader Cut, a proper paradox. I love that name. TH420, Bud Monster, Naps, Killicam 1020. We got Benson, we got Ronaldo, we got Christopher Holcomb, Fiddleback's joining us as well. So is Justin Richardson. Shout out to Kanye East and Monty G, the Pawns, the Fawns, the Lambo Trader Extraordinaire. 1 year off. I like that name. 1 year off. Hello to you too. We got Chump Change Trader Charlie Taff in the house. Crystal Ball. Damn as well. Shane Michael Lloyd. Big Michael Lloyd, that is. We also have Big Adam DeLuce. We got Cairo. We got Piper and Jammer. I'm in a really good mood if you guys can't tell, and I'm pretty sure everybody knows why I'm in a good mood. It's that kind of day, so hopefully we can add to that good mood there by trading well today.
Oh yeah.
How it goes.
I mean, I have to say, Nvidia putting me in a good mood. I get to say Nvidia yay to my first post-split Nvidia trade. Yeah. So let me talk us through this. Basically, what happened was, I sit down and I said to Sharif, I'm like, oh, look, the charts are making me so happy. Amazon's kind of rangy. Tesla was at a short level that I then missed because I got myself some coffee, but that's irrelevant. What happened was I see this NVDA and I'm like, hey, we're rejecting this VWAP area. We're also rejecting that previous pop. I said, Adara, get involved before you can't. Get involved to 121. No, sorry, no, yeah, 121, like 18s. Then add if we get to 33s. If we break above 46s, get out. Why 46s? It is in confluence with VWAP and that VWAP protection we had earlier. Those are two things I like. So I said, you know what, Adara? Try it. You might like it. Added most of the position at that 121.18, added 121.33s. Plan to exit part of it at that 121.10 area. Got the rest out at that previous support area, 120.80s. Now, I know the move is still going on. It did get out early, but I have to stick to my plan, and my plan is to scalp. I also do want to say thanks again to Obi for covering for me over the last 2 days. Hopefully, you guys had a distinctly different time. Yeah. The markets, I know we're doing some distinctly different things, so I am very happy. Pleased as punch to be back with you guys. Hopefully, we're going to have some nice little trades. Also, Tesla, you want to keep projecting 170. Don't let me stop you. I will get involved. Yeah,
anybody who sees Obi, you got to let him know that I want my money. He knows what's going on now. Ob, the one, the Kenob, him and I, we had an agreement that whoever hits 200 first, I had Apple, the Ob, the one, the Kenob had Tesla. Ram's trying to get in on it right now. No, Ram, you're not jumping in on this, Ram. She's insisting, and she did actually say that, so shout out to Ram. I just got to troll her a little bit. All right, Adara, let's get to some of these smaller cap gappers. There isn't much to talk about today, and the one that looks really good is associated with Apple, funny enough. AMC is having a decent day, guys. Nice looking chart pattern here with respect, obviously, at the 10 period. It's been bouncing off the 10 period umpteen amount of times, but still below that key $5 level, $4.99 HOD on AMC. It's been having trouble with $5 for days on end. Go back and have a look at how it's been dealing with $4.71 is the closing print, so we're well green on the day on AMC. Not the same though for GME. We'll get to that one in a little bit. Then we have another really good looking small cap gapper, AISP, 48.5% in the clear, doing the dance here with either the 10 or the 20. Take your pick. The deeper retracements, as we can see around from 10.15 to 10.25, we did hold up at the 20. Every single wick did bounce off the 20, but most of the time the retracements are coming a little bit shallower into the 10 EMA on the 5. I will be very interested in this one. This also has an HOD of $4.99. No relation, of course, to AMC, but AISP HOD at the exact same spot. Then the one that's associated with Apple. Now, I didn't even know all these stocks existed. Apparently, there's a lot of Apple derivatives that you can trade. One of them is AAPU. This bad boy closed out yesterday, 27.89, 31.05 HOD, topping tail candle coming in right now at that 11 o'clock time slot. I'm not going to place too much emphasis in one topping tail candle in a move that looks like this. So we'll look to trade some of these small cap gappers, but I got to tell you, it's going to be kind of an Apple kind of day unless it really starts retracing. And if it does, we'll mean revert it. We'll have to wait and see. Essentially, 204 HOD, 203.96 on, I can't call it in good conscience the dead one today. It just wouldn't be right. This ain't the dead one today. Dara, this thing's up 5 1/3. Shout out to the Katina man who's in $10 on the money. Ridiculous. So AAPL doing the absolute most. We'll look to get to that one in a little bit, but we do have a lesson du jour, so let's get to that bad boy right away. We are talking about these lesser known kind of continuation patterns this week. Today's one is not really lesser known, but one that Adair and I did not cover last time we did continuation pattern, and that goes by the name at Ram of the rising and falling channels. Let's get right to it. So technical analysis offers a variety of tools to identify potential trading opportunities within established trends. Rising and falling channels are powerful continuation patterns that help traders capitalize on the trend's momentum. This lesson explores how to recognize and trade these channel patterns for intraday or swing trade strategies if you are so inclined. So let's just do as we always do, explain some of the basics. So understanding the rising and falling channels, essentially the rising channel is as follows, okay? It's an upward sloping trend line acting as support and a roughly parallel resistance line. I'll show you a picture in a sec. So the price is bouncing between these lines, creating a series of higher highs and higher lows. Case in point, this one right here. You see this rising channel. We have an obvious area top over here with the upper resistance line and an equally almost parallel. They don't have to be exactly parallel, but they should be close enough to the naked eye to look as parallel. So you have the lower trend line and the upper trend line, and that's exactly how it looked like. All right, the falling channel, not a whole lot different. It's a downward sloping trend line acting as resistance. And again, a roughly parallel support line to the top side. The price bounces between these lines, creating a series of lower highs and lower lows. And so let's get to basically that picture right there. I didn't show the explanation. There we go. So you have lower highs, lower lows, and then we're going to talk about the breakdown or breakout from these channels in a hot second, but we just want to explain for all the newer traders, this is essentially what a downward channel looks like, okay? So why are rising and falling channels relevant? What are we going to do with them? Well, first and foremost, they offer a glimpse of the price action. These are continuation patterns. So essentially what it's telling you is that the previous trend, whatever it was, is going to continue. So rising and falling channels are a signal of continuation of the prevailing trend after a period of consolidation. That period of consolidation kind of optional. They also offer entry and exit opportunities, right? For traders looking to ride the trend's direction. Why do they do that? Because if the trend is going to stay intact, then you can go short when the price hits the top end channel and go long when it hits the bottom support line on an upward channel. Conversely, obviously for the downward channel. So that's why it's showing you entry and exit opportunities because where support and resistance is. So how do you identify these rising and falling channels? The first thing is you need to look for an established trend. You can't be zigzagging every which way. There has to be a prevailing trend. So the key element is an existing uptrend for the rising channel or an existing downtrend for the falling channels. You can confirm the trend using moving averages or a trend analysis. So you can just look at the price action. Is there higher highs and higher lows? If there is, you got a trend, or you can use the moving averages. Simple. Which way is it pointing, the moving average? Is that 10 period pointing up? Is that 50 period pointing up? Or is that 50 period sloping down? Okay? In addition to that, sorry, just lost my train of thought there. So in addition to the established trend, there are parallel trend lines. So you have to draw the trend lines along the highs for the rising channel and along the lows for the falling channel to define the channel boundaries. These trend lines should be roughly parallel, indicating a period of consolidation within the trend. So how do you trade these bad boys, right? How do you trade these rising and falling channels? So direction matters in this case. So rising channels are suggesting to you that there is going to be a continuation of the uptrend. So when you see that, you're looking for long entry opportunities near the support trend line or a bounce off of it. So you're going to be looking to get in either if it touches the trend line, or as Neil likes to say, getting it on the back end. Once it hits that trend line, then it shows you a few green candles to the high side. You say, all right, this support level is being respected, this resistance level is being respected, and then you get long or short, okay? You look for short entry opportunities near the resistance trend line on the top. So what happens if the breakout through the channel or the breakdown through the channel ends up being false? Because that's another way to trade this, is to take the breakout through the top end of the channel or the breakdown through the bottom end of the channel. So what happens? So the key signal is a breakout above the upper trend line for rising channels or breakdown below the trend line for falling channels. However, be cautious of false breakouts that reverse back into the channel. That's what we call a specialist breakout or breakdown. You should also be looking for volume confirmation. Increased volume on the breakout bar compared to what the volume was within the channel should be a signal that the breakout is legitimate or the breakdown is legitimate. So basically, if you get a breakout through the upper channel, you want to see, is this going to be a false breakout, a specialist breakout like we call it? Or is there actually some substance to this move forward? Volume, one of the ways you can help gauge that by looking to see if the volume on the breakout is higher than the average volume within the upper trend line or upper channel or lower channel, okay? And then your stop loss and your profit taker, equally as important, guys. Place a stop loss order just below support for the long trades in a rising channel or just above resistance for the short trades in a falling channel. You should also here, as Neil often does, consider trailing stop loss orders in order to lock in those profits as the trend progresses, right? Take profits can be set at the opposite trend line or based on technical indicators like Fibonacci retracements. You're going to take your pick here. And here are some additional tips. I really want to press these upon you, okay? Because these are awfully important. The channel width can be quite indicative of here. The channel width of a channel, the width of a channel, I should say, can sometimes offer clues about the trend's strength. Narrower channels suggest tighter consolidation and a potentially stronger breakout. That's something I actually didn't know. So when the range is super narrow and you're ranging within that narrow range or channel for umpteen amount of times, and the longer you range, what's going on with Apple? It's tanking? The Katina man is short Apple at these levels, by the way, guys. Just want to update you. Okay, so the narrower the range on the channel, the more explosive the breakout could be once you break out or break down from the channel, something I didn't know. And the channel slope is also indicative in this context as well. The slope of the trend lines can indicate the pace of the trend. The steeper the slope suggests more aggressive the trend is and a potentially quicker price movement, but you should also be aware that the steeper the trend, the more likely the mean reversion, okay? And you can combine with other indicators as well. While rising and falling channels are absolutely valuable tools, use them alongside other technical indicators like relative strength or moving average convergence divergence for a more comprehensive trading strategy. And thank you, Adara, for adding this in. Other opportunities are very important within this channel as well. So defined rising and falling channels also provide the opportunity for range trading, that Adara-Panera range we always talk about, using the established resistance and support levels within the channel. The range can always fall through at any time, so make sure to have sound risk management strategies before entering such trade. Adara.
You never want to take a range for granted, especially if it's a range in something that's already kind of coiling in a certain direction. But, you know, if you got a range, why not try a range? So, yeah, I literally saw that as such a Sharif. I'm like, I want to add something here about ranges. And Sharif was like, go for it. So, shout out to ranges. I will always be repping the range trades. Shout out to my range traders in the chat. Right now, though, I'm trying to play a range on Tesla. Ooh. So, you might be like, Adara, range Tesla? Question mark? Yeah, like, Yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions that might be had there, but that worked better in my head. But basically what happened here was I initially tried to go long off the bottom of the range. This wasn't a bad idea, but my entry on it was bad. I noticed for whatever reason, we did bounce a little bit earlier off that 168.80. So I said, Adara, try to play the range. That is what you like to do. This is your sweet spot. This is your oeuvre. Try to get involved. So I did. What I did was I got long probably too early, around that 168.90, added it. Well, initially this held really well. I said I wanted to see what we did getting into the 60s. We held 168.75 then beautifully as well. So I said, Dara, add a little bit, get involved, have a good time. That is what I did. Obviously I flipped short because I realized I think the short was gonna be a better type of move. I am right now still down on Tesla because that initial trade was not successful, was not a successful for me. But then I like the short right now. I did get some of this out already here. Did I get some of this out? No, I didn't yet. Yeah, good times. But no, I'm trying to get some of this out here around 75s. Then I will. I feel like I've had too many trades in this already. The point is, I'm basically going short every time we get into that 169 and then swiping it to the downside. So swiper, yes, swiping, I say to these range trades. Shout out to Dora the Explorer for some reason. What are you up to?
I just got long on Apple for a quick scalp. Already took 15 pennies as quicker than you can say, how do you do?
How do you do?
Yeah, well, it's okay. Well, I'm going to put in my stop. Look, I'm trying to see what the future's doing here, and the future's right at 19.1. And so I was like, okay, well, do we defend on the future at 19.1? And if we do, does Apple bounce? So we'll see exactly what we get. There goes 19.1. So now maybe we got to start looking short here on some of these names. And I'm looking at the soft one right at this level because soft one just broke through the 10 period here, 427.51. The IB high on Microsoft is right here at 427 1/3. So do we find support at the IB high on Softy, which is also hanging out on the 20 period, that 427 1/3. Softy is essentially flat on the day, 0.05%, but there was definitely a buyer in and around this 425 1/4, and then it really moved up nicely to 428 1/3. So I want to see if Softy holds up at this level, and it looks like it is because we're getting a bit of a hammer candle right now at these levels. So decent move here for MSFT. Yeah, I'm unsure what to do with these levels. All right. Oh, I got stopped out of Apple for the remaining amount there, by the way, guys. But I want to get back in here on the dead one. So we're long back in at 61s. Let's wet our beak here at 75s if we can get that. Up into 73 we go. Let's see if we can get that print anywhere around there. And yeah, we'll get that print again. So scalping here successfully on the dead one Apple. Again, it's not dead. I'm just joking, guys. We always used to call it the dead one. And so just...
It used to earn its nickname.
It used to. It really hasn't anymore. Well, not since basically we started getting closer to WWDC, that's for sure. So we'll see what Apple does. It's holding at the 10 period right now. Not much to discuss with Apple at these levels. In case you're just joining us, Apple had its Worldwide Developer Conference yesterday, and the market likes what it saw. I was anticipating a sell the news event. I didn't think that the sell the news event was going to be one day. I thought we would get like a few days of selling here, at least allow me to get some more shareage at these levels. Alas, that's not going to happen. So it doesn't look like it's going to happen. It may happen. Here we go. Mid 80s coming in nicely there. We take 25 pennies quicker than pretty quick there on the dead one Apple. So up over 5% again. Let's keep watching AAPL. But the one that I've got my eyes fixated on right now is the soft one. And the reason I'm interested in Microsoft today is because it's not as bamboozling, sorry. It's not as aggressive as Apple. And so if I can eke something out of a name that isn't aggressive and kind of take these less choppy, less volatile trades, I'd be more than happy. And we have a hammer candle right now that I really like on Microsoft through that 10 period, holds the IB high to pretty much almost like the 10 pennies there at the IB high. So great switch from resistance into support, that 427 1/3. It held up, I believe, in the low 40s. Good curl back up here for MSFT. Exactly flat on the day, 0.0% right now, Adair.
Wow. Yeah, I saw Microsoft being flat. I didn't have a sense of direction on that yet, but that doesn't mean that I won't have any thing on it at some point. Just right now, though, I don't have any ideas that I feel very strongly about. So it's going to have to be a hard no for Microsoft for now. Also, Tesla. So updates for Tesla. We had a bit of a fat finger moment here, but it did allow me to get some shares add back at a better price. So I did lose a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I meant to get one of my orders set at 168 something, but then instead I put 169 something, yada, yada. Unfortunately, I did get out earlier than I wanted to. It's all good. But then I added to the position right now. Decent sized position. Really proud of what I've done here with Tesla. Initially, like I said, we did have a trade that was a little bit stressful on this earlier when I went long. Didn't work out. The idea wasn't necessarily bad. It's just, execution, timing, all that jazz. But right now, we're hopefully getting all that jazz in Tesla to the downside. I think this could reverse at any moment. I think right now it is kind of trying to push a little bit higher here, so we're probably just going to try to get out right around these 169s. I would be pleased as punch with that. But yeah, just really happy to be back in these markets, trying to take these markets by storm. Gee. I love markets, but I'm back.
I love it.
Watch out for me. Sincerely, Adara. Also, Nvidia is not on the Amex. What are you doing, girl? Let's look at Nvidia here on the NQ, which is its actual home. NVDA here. I was shorting this earlier. Happy with that. If we actually see a nice closing basis, like closing candle rejection at 121s, 121 can in fact do something for me to the downside. Why? Because it was a previous level of support. I love support resistance flips. That's one of the biggest things I've learned from Sharif since sitting here at this desk, so I do want to shout that out. That is something I'm looking at. Also, a firm getting kind of rangy, so any VWAP rejection AMC that we have could be kind of interesting.
I know.
Volume on this has certainly tapered out just a skosh since we did have our earlier move today, that nice pop-up for AFRM on that news with Apple Pay. But right now, it looks like we're just kind of chop insurance. So still on my side chart, not in my heart yet, nothing I'm really committed to. Then Nvidia 121, though, could, as I said, do something for me. Apple, Apple. I want to shout out straight for that Apple trade. But also Apple, if you want to form a weird range, I don't say weird because no ranges are weird, but if you want to form a little bit of a range here for some reason at 202.50 to 203.50, hey, I'll take that heat. I will bite that apple. I will Tim Cook with that. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm an AMC. AMC, I'm going long here for a 5 defend. It's really going to be a simple trade. It's going to have to hold 5. If it doesn't hold 5, I'm out. Simple as that. We're going to risk 6 pennies. We're long 506, and I'm just going to hold this and see what comes. But 5 has been a clear level of resistance. It's not like we cleared 5 by some distance that I can feel confident. Oh, yeah, we're going to use it as support now for sure. We cleared it, decidedly, and no, I don't feel that way at all. In fact, 506 acting as a local top right now. It's 508 HOD on AMC, 7 1/5 right now in the clear. And we're going to try it. We're going to give this the old college try or whatever they call it, the old community college try or whatever. I don't know. The college try it is. So we're giving this a shot here. Topping tail candle, sadly, coming in on AMC. But if it's a break of 5, it's a break of 5 to the downside. That's it. I'm not going to DCA into this or anything like that. It's going to have to hold first time around. And if it doesn't hold first time around and reclaims it, I could be persuaded to get back in. I won't hold no grudges. It's all good. So we'll keep eyes on that. The Katina man let me know that Apple is still going here, guys. So let me get back into the dead one, and there it is, right back into the close to high a day. It's in the 60s, the high a days in the 90s. We're 30 pennies off high a day. This one held the 10 period on the 5 like a dang glove. But let me tell you, the tape teleportation today on this is aggressive. And by that I mean the way that it's moving, it's awfully volatile. So even though it holds the 10 to a T, your emotions, it just gets a little bit of your emotions because the tape is moving up. You're 30 pennies in the money. Now you're 20 pennies out of the money and it keeps switching every way. So you're going to have to either pack your patience on this or trade a derivative that's not as volatile. If I could make a suggestion to you, if you don't want to trade a $200 stock, not like I feel that's too expensive, but there is this one, AAPU. It's 30 bucks. It's moving here. The spread on AAPU is not bad. It's a few pennies. So we've talked about leverage products usually having a wider spread given their leverage than the actual original product itself. This one, not really acting like that. A 2-penny spread on a $30 name ain't that bad. We're essentially 8 pennies off HOD on AAPU, printing 97s. 05s is the high a day, so great look there for any Apple or Apple derivative product. The other one I want to trade is AISP. I'm going to set up a dip trade at the 10 at around 480. I'll look to see if I can get in and around there, but it is doing the dance with 5, and we already knew that this one had a 499 HOD. It was this candle right here, but obviously this candle made it, you know, it didn't really make a difference. It broke through it aggressively, so we'll keep eyes on both these bad boys. 2 pennies out of the money right now on AMC long, Adair.
Nice. Yeah, shout out to you for that AMC long. Also, yeah, I love the AMC and AMD, the weird sister stock names.
Yeah.
Yeah, also, I did laugh out loud. You said you're not holding your grudge against AMC. I don't know why, but that did make me laugh. It made me laugh my head off. Thank you to Ahmed Alwala for the 10 AED super chat. Oklo, my only long-term, can't ignore it. Well, we would not like to. Let's take a look at Oklo. We are not down for ignoring things here on How to Trade. We like to look at stocks. Let's look at Oklo. Oklo not having a bad day today. Volume on this is not the best on, well, I'll look at, because you said long-term, I'll look at this on the daily chart. But right now for the intraday, just because I like to start with that. We're bouncing off VWAP. There's, to me, some obvious resistance at the 971 level. If you see where we had all this chop and turn and then we fell. But we're holding up at VWAP for the time being. Volume about just over 1 million shares, so. But let's take a look at our daily chart for O to the K to the L to the O. This is honestly, from what I don't know why this thing won't load for me in its entirety, but I do like the kind of Adara Panera-ish range trade I am seeing on the daily chart from that $7 area up to 1140. It's not a bad look. Yeah, I think the levels on this, we did have a higher low here. I would say if we can break above that range, top of 1140, that would of course be a nice look for O to the K to the L to the O, but for some reason I'm not seeing like a great picture of the daily chart unless this one did just IPO, so I'm not really sure about that. But thank you very much for the super chat, Ahmed Amwala. So I want to talk about the 2 stocks I've been trading all day. They've been Nvidia and they've been Tesla, and they've both been purely scalp plays, because that's what I'm trying to do. Scalp season all day, every day. So the Nvidia 121 short is, I think, still effective. The reason I got out of it was because I did not like the way we were careening back up to 121. I had a planned out at 120.80. I got that, no problem. Then I was like, we're still seeing some of these bottoming tail candles. We don't know what way it's gonna go. So I did get out. I think it looks like it's still gonna be short, so like that's fine. If we bounce off here, I may be tempted to go long, but that temptation will probably be curbed because I think I feel better about the short case for N to the V to the D to the A. Let's take a look at Tesla. I just added a G into the Tesla ticker for reasons I will never understand. Good times. Tesla. TSLA is having not a great TSL day, that is for sure. I had this short. I probably got out of this a little bit too early. I think I got the rest of the position out at 169, and Tesla's laughing in my face because I was down at 168.50. It's like, okay, Tesla, calm down. But yeah, I mean, if we come back to 169, we reject, I will go short. That is my life. I also really want to quickly take a look at good old volatility. Sharif this morning says like, hey, did you see your girl Lily?
It's
like,
down.
Oh, it is. But it had that nice little catalyst.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, this VWAP projection is not a bad look. I don't have a read on this right now for personal trading.
Did you know that the vote was 11-0? It wasn't binding, but the committee, it's a subcommittee that decides whether to advance for full approval by the end of this year, 11-0. Doesn't happen often.
That's rare.
Doesn't happen often. And it doesn't treat symptoms. It treats the underlying condition of the plaque buildup in the brain. Yeah, I kind of have it on my mom's side of things. Not too many people have it, but you know, you always worry a little bit about that. Hey, it's a bull kind of day, Randy, no? Yeah. My man Randy knows what's up. He knows all about Apple. Speaking of Apple, a new high day. I feel like we're going to be doing that a lot lately. 204.51. All-time highs on the dead one Apple. Oh, baby. It's going to go 6%. 5.87. It's in the high fives. I say 6%, you know. Why not, right? We already have Obi that owes us all that money. We can parlay some of it now, no problem. We're kidding, of course. Shout out to the Ob.
Are you? You seemed pretty serious about it earlier, getting that money from Obi.
I just tease it, Ob.
I know.
I love Ob. Ram's serious. She's a businesswoman. She wants her Starbucks, and yeah. So here goes Apple again. Here comes 205 on it, 204.75. We're 6% in the clear now, Adara. This thing ain't stopping. I got long 202.5, and I feel like a dang fool because I would have been $2 in the money. This thing is on the way up. What a day for Apple. It has not broken the 10 period on the 5. There has not been one breach of the 10 period on the 5 yet. On Apple, 204.79 right now is the HOD. Let's go back into AMC here. So we get a hold of 5. All right, and I added at the 5, so I had a planned DCA into that 5 area. This is like, look, if it holds 5, we know 5 is a key area of resistance on AMD. If it can hold 5, I think that's bullish. I've already put my stop through the break of 496, so it's really going to have to hold up at this area. Otherwise, we don't want any of the smoke. But I want to see if $5 can finally act as support on AMC, because it's been acting resistance to no end the last few days. Topping tail candle coming in right now, Fabian, at 204, and I don't like that. So that's not going to be a good look there as Fabian deals with the microphone over here. Yeah, I hope we're not experiencing any sound issues, are we? Well, we're not bad, okay, he says. All right, 205 incoming, Katina Man. Here it is, 204.97. Can we get the break of 205 at these levels? It's over 6% here, Adara. Mid-90s again. Unbelievable day for Apple. Wow, that's all I can say.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see if it fills the gapple, but right now that is a great look for A to the A to the P to the L. I was not able to finagle my way into an Nvidia short. I know I initially said I wanted Nvidia long. Happy I didn't do that because wow, did it fall. But then I was like, Adara, let's see what it does at 120.80. Let's see how that goes. Yeah, Nvidia gets to 120.78 and falls hard. It falls hard. So I was like, okay, Nvidia, I see you. I don't have a read on you right now, but I will trade your cousin and the actual cousin, Lisa Su and Jensen Huang are cousins, AMD and Nvidia CEOs, and also jacket wearers, jacket enthusiasts, both of them. We've got blazers for Lisa and those leather jackets for Jensen. But either way, we are in AMD, or I am in AMD. We are hoping this isn't going to be an AM disaster. No, all jokes aside, I feel okay about this trade. I would not have taken it if I didn't like it. I love all of these failed wicks up into that 158.80 area. Like, look at this. It's in confluence with VWAP. Who am I to say no to this? I mean, maybe we'll see if I'm a fool or not. No, I'm joking. But I like this trade. You do have to have, as Sean was saying earlier, confidence or your confidence or whatever that means to you. Just having the gumption to feel good about the trade. I've noticed the trades that I find work out the best for me, whether or not that's P&L or it's just how I feel about them, are the trades that I came into with a lot of passion, a lot of heart, a lot of confidence, and that I was ready to commit to by adding into, by having size with them, et cetera, et cetera. That's what that Lulu trade I had last week. That was what that was. NVDL last week with that break into 1200 for Nvidia. That was what that was. It's really just about having, the grit to keep going, and that's what I want to do. Also, AMD, if you want to get to like, what is this, 39s, I'll take out part of the position at 39s. Then we will be saving pieces for dreams. Where will the dream die, you may ask? Maybe you didn't. It's going to be around 158. That's going to be my level for AM Dizzle, as Sharif will sometimes call it. There we go. Hopefully this break comes, Lisa, sooner rather than later. How are you doing?
Good. I'm looking for stuff here because
no worries.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I can take over. It's not a big deal. I'm looking at Meta at these levels. Interesting breakdown through VWAP. Meta negative on the day, but holding up at that 502-ish area where VWAP is. Let's see if this one hangs on to this level. Otherwise, well, everything's kind of headed up here except Nvidia and Meta. Nvidia's on the way down. Nvidia's about to hit 120, guys, which is interesting here. Shout out to the Katina Man who's short that, and Adara, who's short AMD. So fantastic look there because they often move in sympathy. So shout out to the both of them there for those trades. You're $1 in the money on it already, eh? So the Katina Man's over $1 in the money now on this Nvidia short as it comes into that LOD 120 there. So that'll be $1,200 pro split because we know it was 10-1. So just think about that if you're still charting on the old terms. $1,200. Here it comes, baby. We're 12 pennies above that level right now. But, this could be interesting here. does this 1200 or 120, come on, get it together, Sharif, act as support? It did initially. Will second time be a charm? Usually it's third time that's not a charm in my estimation, so we'll see exactly what we get here. I could definitely be persuaded to try to get in at 120 for a quick bounce, but you know what? This is 1.5% in the negative. I don't want to be standing in front of that. I'm going to have to pass on that quick scalp possibility there on NVDA. Let's check back to see how AMC is doing. It's not stopping me out. I had my stop through 496. It's still printing 498. So we'll keep an eye on that. Yeah. All right. I'm going to send it to you for a sec just while I set up some stuff.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah. AMD seems scared of where I want to take profit, which is like not really fun, obviously. I wanted 158.40s. AMD's like, you know what I can do, Adara? I can give you 158.45. I'm like, but you can't go like 5 pennies lower. Are you sure? Yeah, it said it wasn't sure, so I can respect that. No, all jokes and me talking to stocks aside, this is a little bit frustrating how long it's taking me to get half this position out because I don't want to add in until I have half out. You know what I mean? I want to take some profit before I try to make some more profit. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm trying to do here with the A to the M to the D. Hopefully we don't get 2 AM destroyed over here. No, I'm joking. We're basically flat in the position. I do love, I have to say, that we had another VWAP projection. That does instill me with a little bit more confidence, what have you. I just would like to be able to take some profit before I add a little bit more in. Microsoft long working, says Hog.
Yeah, I looked at that.
Hopefully you're riding that position to the upside. No. Sounds like you are. That's a great, wow. Man, so I don't know why I said it like that, but this bounce here at that 427.80, whew. You have that little bounce here earlier. Then we come again. Confluence with 90 MA. Yes, we do. Bounce. Yes, we have. Continuing to the upside. Great look for Microsoft. I'm sure you were doing your Steve Ballmer dance there. Hog Rider. Nice look here. Those Bill Gates to the upside. AMD back in the money. For how long? We'll find out. Okay, Tesla. I wanted this short. I wanted to get 168.69. I noticed we kept projecting there. I was like, cool. Great look. 90 MA rejection. Cha-ching. Everything's coming and lining up. I was like, great look. And then Tesla's like, you know what, Adara? I will just drop 30 pennies. I was like, okay. I'm happy to have a dip sell or a rip order, like a rip sell order ready to go because Tesla continued higher. We reject at 169, which it looks like we want to do. I might take the short again. I feel though I've had a better read on Nvidia than I have had on Tesla. So I am going to be a little bit more cognizant with this TSLA. Not to say that all the Tesla trades have been bad. I'm slightly down in the day, but I did work myself out of at least half of the issues we had earlier in this when I tried to go long. And again, I stand by the long. I just don't stand by the execution level of it. So obviously what Tesla does. Tesla really, I think, wants that smoke at 169. So yeah, and as I say that, we break above. So we're going to have to keep an eye on it. I don't want to force myself in a trade just to be in a trade. I want to take trades that I feel good about. AMD, I'd feel a lot better about you if you dropped another, say, like at least 10 pennies. Sincerely, Adara. GME VWAP, says Kim San Young. Yeah, I had this one on my side chart because I thought, I think it's good to keep an eye on GameStop because you never know when that's going to get game started again. You really don't. But this level, the level I like on this is going to be 24.40s. Kind of a random level, perhaps. But we do have that VWAP bounce here in the pre-market. We bounce again beautifully at 10.40. We come back up. Then another level I will like that I might actually have to ask for some locates for is going to be 25.40. Why 25.40, you may ask? Well, we had this little chop and turn here earlier, then we reject at 25.40. So that's why I like 25.40. As Sean sometimes says about GME, I like the stock. Shout out to Roaring Kitty, or as Sharif was quoting him earlier today.
Catman.
How goes the amp?
We're still 2 pennies out of the money. Well, we're showing 502s, we're long 504s, but it's holding 5-ish. Now, this doesn't have to be a breakout or breakdown. It can bore me to no end at 5. Shout out to Big Kyle Burdett. Yeah, I agree with you, Big Kyle. The whole point was just to scalp this off that 120. He's talking to me about the Nvidia. He's like, look, man, Nvidia's going to take out 120. It's going to low a day, and it's going to break it. I couldn't agree more, Big Kyle. It was just about a local, bounce off 120. It's a former area of support. It is the low of day. It is that $1,200 pre-split level. So it was like, let's see if I can weasel a couple of pennies out of it. And I did. I just took a couple of pennies. But you're right. 1,200 income, or sorry, get it together, Sharif. 120 incoming here. Big size. Not big Kyle. Big size at 120 over here. Many lottages at that level. So let's see if that breaks here. We're at showing 02s. We were showing 01s right now. We still haven't shown double O's on NVDA. What's going on? It's going to fail. The Katina Man feels it's going to fail as well. So look at this. A lot of tape action right now. Look at that. Look at the time and sales just absolutely flying up and down at this level. So, you know, we could be experiencing the same thing we saw with the dead one prior to it becoming undead. There it goes. Now we have a big move down below 120. Shout out to the Katina Man for taking that trade. Shout out to Big Kyle for calling it. Yeah, there we go. We get a nice breakdown now, 119.82. It is moving down on NVIDIA. What I was about to say before I got excited there is we could see the same type of thing that we saw on Apple, where we saw constant selling on Apple every day, and then we kept seeing, you know, NVIDIA making new highs because, well, there's a finite amount of money. Usually you're moving in from one stock into the other. So it could be Apple's time to shine now. I have no idea. We'll have to wait and see. Now, I want to mention these areas over here on the Zon. So we did have this 185 and a third low a day. We broke that quite aggressively, 185.18. I want to see if we can use this area now as resistance. If we make it up there back into that 185.50, 185.40 area, can we be taking a short here? Because this was an obvious area of support. Now it's kind of giving up the ghost. Amazon down 1% today. I don't think there's any really major news catalyst on the Zon. I'm just looking real quick here to make sure that there is nothing, not that I see. So, you know, probably just some regular intraday stuff, or possibly, you know, repositioning now. Yeah, repositioning the portfolios for big money. We'll have to wait and see. 19.1 again on the future. Here we go again, touching that 19.1. Last time we got to it, we bounced and we got into 19.128, but it was a lower high. Prior to that, we had gotten to 19.137. So could we give up here, 19.1? It's the second time we get into that 19.1 level in the last about 20 minutes or so, 42 minutes deep into the show. Back to Zon. Sorry, I'm going to keep looking at different things. A bit of a hammer candle coming in now. So if we close green above this candle on the next candle, I could take a mean reversion long into that 186, possibly 185.85 resistance area. You're kind of seeing the similar looks on Meta and Amazon here, both with these kind of bottoming tail candles coming in. Tesla and Google look quite similar as well, both down and to the right with rejections off either the 10 or the 20. They've both been downward sloping, so a little bit of overlap between the chart patterns there. We'll see what we get. $1 and change now off highs on Apple coming into the 10 period again. Last time we did touch the 10 period, we did bounce. So let's see if Apple does it again. The 10 period hanging out at 203 3/4, Adara.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, I was not. I just get out of my Tesla short, then AMD drops. AMD 158, I'll take that. Shout out as well to Johnny Capo in the chat saying he's riding AMD to the downside with me. Hopefully you are pleased as punch. We did get a little bit lower, but I'm not going to be upset. I said I want to see what we did at 158 because of that area. We had that top insurance. So pleased as punch. NVIDIA, its older cousin, dropping here as well. So yeah, that's not a great look there. NVIDIA knocking on the door to borrow a Sharifism. Getting close to that 119 area. Sorry for howling there, guys. I apologize. I mean, imagine you just pull up a chart and then the thing drops like 30 cents and you're in a short. So please just punch. I want to talk about Tesla too, because that was the chart I had just flipped from to get to the AMD. This was a short as well. I got that 169 or 168.88 for some reason. 888, which you said, I know you said is a lucky number.
88, yeah.
Oh, 88. Mm-hmm. In Asian culture, we get 3 8s here for this TSLA.
Also Des Bryant's number and Michael Irvin and C.D. Lamb.
Numbers. So I got out half the position at 168.70s. For some reason, Tesla was like holding on to 168.70, like with like a dog with like a blanket, like it would not let go. It was like, my level. So I said, okay, let's, maybe go a little bit lower, Tesla. Tesla breaks into 168.50. I said, I'll take it. Thanks, Tesla. Pleasure doing business with you. Took about, I think like 45 pennies on that. So Please this punch with TSLA. Please this punch with AMD. And also happy for Johnny Capo apparently having a great trade there. Also, Trader Cut, thank you for sharing this story. I'm going to look and verify this, but Trader Cut saying that the U.S. apparently weighing more limits on China's access to chip needs for AI would explain the drop there in AMD and Nvidia. I'm going to have to look into that story, but thank you for telling us. Man of the People Media wants to look at Fubo, so I'll pull that up, but how are you doing?
So remember how the Americans were worried about selling GPUs to the Middle East?
Yes.
Because they were thinking possibly China could get their hands on them vis-a-vis the Middle East. UAE, United Arab Emirates, supports U.S. restrictions on semiconductor exports to China. UAE has acknowledged the validity of U.S. concerns regarding the potential diversion of advanced chip technologies to China, as stated by Omar I don't know how to say this dude's name. This acknowledgement comes amid heightened scrutiny by the U.S. to prevent cutting-edge semiconductor technologies from bolstering China's military capability. So there you go. Looks like at least some countries in the Middle East looking to play ball here with the States when it comes to that embargo, that chip embargo, essentially. Let's call a spade a spade. So, yeah, not a good look, obviously, as that limits sales, but, you know, nothing really new here for some of these chip manufacturers. They already knew the rules in which they had to play. So we'll keep eyes on that, see if the market continues to sell off. 1902 LOD right now on NVDA. 120 definitely resistance. I put a dip trade here on Apple to shadow the 10 period. Alas, the 10 period is dynamic and it is moving very aggressively. So it looks like I'm not going to get filled as Apple comes right back into that 204 and a third. I have a dip trade set up at 203.82 for the top end of this range as well as the 10 period. Let's see if it holds. Apple still hasn't had a 20 period retracement on the day. At some point, you know, we may get a 20 period retracement. I don't know exactly, obviously, who knows when we're going to get it, but I don't want to be repeating my 10 period retracement dip trades only to have a 20 period come in and get stopped out, because the distance now between the 10 and the 20 on Apple, the 10 is at 203.96 and the 20 is at 202.58. So there's, you know, no reasonable way that I can basically DCA into that without taking minute amount of shares. So let's go ahead and sit at 05s over here. We're going to move up the dip trade now to defend 204s if it does come into that level. So we'll see exactly what we get and we won't get upset. 506 top right now on AMC, right back into 5. We kept saying, you know, this doesn't have to be a breakout or breakdown trade. It can bore me to no end, and that's what it's doing right now. Looks like it's defending generally off that $5 area, but it's not really getting that parabolic breakout to the high side. So I'm just going to stay in the position. My stop stays the same. Nothing changes at this moment in time.
Yeah, I'm seeing a couple other people mention Fubo as well. So let's go turn on the TV, or turn on the channel for Fubo. This is a nice look. I'm not seeing any catalyst on this. FUBO, strong volume candles. Fubo does not want to quit. So yeah, good for you, Fubo. Nice look here. Bouncing off the 9 EMA. Having a bit of a time here with that 122. We get to that level, then we have a little bit of a top wicking candle, but we're finding gorgeous support at that 120 level. So this 20 area could be a nice little level here for Fubo. Daily chart, I have to say this is not the most pleasant daily chart I've ever looked at. Lower highs, lower lows for the most part. The most recent level that is kind of spicy to me is going to be that 150. Okay, close enough to 160 area. A little bit of resistance coming back into April. Then we careen back to the downside here at 130, touch 160 twice, fall back down. Now what we're doing that I think could be really fascinating is we're finding some rejection at that previous support area. That's going to be 125. If Fubo can break above 125, that could be a nice change in the channel. But right now, the channel for Fubo is decisively to the downside. Bad TV pun, I apologize. Also, Tesla is definitely not going to let me have the level I want. But I was talking about Tesla 168.70 kind of ad nauseum. It's a level I really like. I watched that rejection happen. I was like, hey, Tesla, do I want the smoke? Yes, La. Yes, La, I do. I actually still have my order here ready. If it comes to 168.68, Tesla, I see you. I always sound like I'm in a horror movie threatening these stocks sometimes, but you got to have that passion. You got to have that zest, that drive. I do not know if it'll give me the level I want, but either way, my order is sitting here patiently waiting at the docks. We'll have to see if Tesla picks me up on its way to the downside. How are you doing?
Good. Back into Apple, looking for that defend. Let's see what we get here. Along at 37s. Could have bet my beak a bunch of times there in the mid 40s, but I'm looking for a little bit more. So let's see if we can move up a little bit here. It's going to be a 10-period defend. That's going to be the whole idea of this trade. So we'll see what we get. On said name. Let's see what else is going on. Oh, wow. Nvidia right back into low of day again. So 119 coming in on the monster Nvidia. That is the low of day exactly, 119. And there goes the low of day on Nvidia. Wow, big move down here as the Fuge gives up VWAP and pivots. 118, sorry, I can't really see that well. 86 now. LOD on NVDA. It's putting in a bunch of these bottoming tail candles, but I gotta tell you, the selling pressure is relentless on this name. When I was in it, even though it was very, very brief, you know, you could just see the size following down the tape. The same thing was not happening with the bid. You didn't see that size following up on the bid in the way that you saw it on the tape. So, all right, so Apple now is about to break 204, so I'm going to have to make a decision here as to whether I stay in this trade or not. So let's go ahead and put the stop Adara at 203. I'm going to put it low 90s, and we'll see what we get in and around there. Let's see if it holds up at these levels. So we're looking for a 10-period hold on AAPL, and we'll see what we get at that level. Still break even on it right now. What else is moving here? Meta coming into 500. That could be very interesting as well. We know Meta has had trouble with 500 subsequent to earnings. Yesterday was the first day it reclaimed that $500 level since that earnings date. Well, there you go. You just got a quick wick into 537. 500 and a third, right back up into 503 quarters. So let's see if this, which is 200, the 200 exponential as well, or 500. Let's see if we can encounter some support in and around that level. Go Apple, what a trade there, man. I'm 50 pennies in the money on this trade. Boom, let's go higher, baby. Let's see if we can get into that 205, nicely in the money now, 60 pennies in the money. Let's see if we can get $1 on the dead one, AAPL. What a day today is. I'm pleased as dang punch.
I am pleased as dang punch for you. I know you said like we gotta have these trades. Right, starting the show, we started on a really positive note, so I'm really happy for you there that you are cooking there, Tim cooking in that Apple trade. Ooh. Now, Tesla, you might be like, Adara, I thought you said you were going to wait until 168.68. I did say that. But what I realized, I was like, Adara, you have to build, start maybe building at the bottom of this area. I noticed because we do have this little base here, I'm like, if we flat bottom and break this could be juicy. You might not get your 168.68, Adara. Get what you can get and don't get upset. And I decided what I could get was getting involved at 44s. 11 is my lucky number. I like multiples of 11. I was like, cool, let's do it. That's not why I got involved. I legitimately did like the level. But yeah, so we started building a position. Then I added, I said, Adara, if we get that 168.68 wick, you add. If we break above 168.90s, that's where you say sayonara and you hop out of this Tesla because you don't know, at that point, you won't know Model Y you're there anymore. But it turns out there's no reason to leave this right now. Model X marks the spot, and right now, that spot is going to be this breakdown I'm desperately waiting for here at 168.40. 168, like 30s, 40s. The point is this level. This level with all these wicks, I want that breakdown. To me, this wick and then immediate failure of this 168.70 area, that does give me a little bit of hope here. I want to get some of this position out though, because this is not, it's not like a massive position, but for me, it's a little bit larger than what I normally take. Again, I do feel confident in it, but I want to make sure that I have some profit to go with that confidence, because confidence alone is not, it's not a great trading diet. You want to have some stuff to back that up. Tesla right now trying to disprove all of my lovely little like rant I just made about how nice it looks as a short. So, okay, Tesla, I see you. That's cool. Eyes on you, Tesla. Also, though, GME. Shout out to Neil. Thank you very much for getting me those GameStop shorts, because I said, oh, maybe I want shorts. And Neil's like, I can get you shorts. I was like, oh, thank you. But yeah, so I did get my shorts here on GME because Again, I would prefer that 25.40 level. If we have this 90 EMA rejection, I did say I did like this 24 area. I'm not rushing into this, especially given that Tesla right now is trying to take my lunch money. So it's all good. But yeah, I want to see what we do here at 90s. This might have to be where we get out. If we have this rejection, I will stay in. But you have to have confidence to take trades. That's the thing, right? You can't not take trades because you're scared or because you don't want to lose money. I was, up on the day. I'm still up on the day. But the point is I did lose a little bit of that. I might lose a little bit of that with this trade, but it's like you have to have the confidence, the confidence, whatever, or what are you doing here? You can't just, try to protect your profits. It's a huge thing I've learned. So trying not to trade P&L, and trading instead for progress and learning. A good
I want to
time for
read,
Tesla.
yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt. I want to read Ian Gartner's comment because I think it's quite apt and I think it's a very level-headed comment. Not suggesting it's imminent, but I'm waiting for short in Apple. So I think what you're, and I don't mean to put words in your mouth, Ian, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm assuming you're looking for a mean reversion. You're like, hey, this has moved up quite nicely. Possibly a lot of people trading this intraday to catch the ride on the momentum train. And some of this money could be intraday money, and it finds itself like the prop floor money here. All the money that's spent on this prop floor is intraday money. You can't be in a position after 4:15. So if that money is gone at the end of the day, sometimes that that move comes down. That's why you always hear me say closing prints are important to me because that committed money at the end of the day is the money that I want to take note of. So we could absolutely get a mean reversion retracement on the dead one Apple. I mean, the fact of the matter is we could get a VWAP retracement into 201 or something, right? So be on the lookout for that. Look to these moving averages. Right now, what I see is just absolute respect for by Apple for the 10 period on the 5. There has not been a print, forget a close. There has not been a print below the 10 period. So I use that as a gauge. And then so if it continues or to bounce off it, then I know that that's kind of the line in the sand for Apple on the day. Now, if it gives way to the 10 period, then I know something could be afoot. Now possibly we could be mean reverting. We're breaking the 10 period for the first time on the day. There's something kind of to get my attention, a catalyst, so to speak. So I like the way he's thinking, and I think it's quite sound. And what I love about his comment is he said, I don't think it has to be imminent. So the dude's prepared for what may come, but he's not going in there with blind bias. Shout out to Ian. I think that's very sound thinking right there. Now, I did sadly get stopped out of my AMC trade. So I'm a little disappointed with this one. I really thought this one could hold the 5, but these trades are what they are. These memes, these small cap gappers, you never really have I shouldn't say you never. I never really have the right exact read on them. Probably should have covered a little bit at these highs. We ended up giving up, we gave 10 pennies from the top. So we initially entered 506, and then we entered 501, and then we got out everything 496. A little disappointed with that, not gonna lie. Probably just gonna leave it for the day because clearly I don't have a read on it. I would have wanted 5 to act as support here, alas, did not. So I am now going to change AMC's trading screen to AISP because I'm gonna hold a grudge.
I like that.
Yeah, it's okay, we're just joking here. Now, AISP's decent name. Let me give you the deets on this monster. 52, almost 53% in the clear, 110 million, 111 now, $1 million market cap. The shares on the day, 75.1 million shares traded. The float, 9 million share float. And the short float, let's find out. Shout out to the NOS boss and his crew over there at Trade Ideas, AISP. What's going on here?
I didn't see a significant short float for this one, but I don't.
Why is it? Well, there's no company information on it for, oh, here we go. AISP competitors. I think I typed it in wrong, but it's not letting me adjust it. Whatever. AISP. There we go. I just typed it in wrong, I think. No, I don't think they have information on it. That's fine. So we'll look for that a little bit later. The point is, let's have a look at the technicals here. So now we've got a breakdown of the 10. So there was umpteen amount of respect for the 10. We made that very clear, especially through the break of 5. Now we're kind of getting these candles of indecision, these like topping tail doji style candles. This shows, an equilibrium starting to form between buyers and sellers at this level. And I'm not surprised. It's that $5 level. We initially had trouble with 5. So this one looks like it may be curling back down. So I think I'm going to hang out at VWAP here for a VWAP dip. Although, now that I say it, I do feel there has been not that much respect for VWAP by AISP. So I'm hesitant to do that. I think what I should do is look to get in at the 20 because there has been a lot of respect for the 20 on the deeper retracements, although these candles over here concern me a little bit. These candles that came into the 20 initially, they looked a lot more bullish. These ones look like very indecisive, so I'm a little hesitant to sit at the 20, maybe at the 2/3 of a dollar or that 70 penny area, just because of these bottoming tail candles. What I can do is I can have a tight stop. If it breaks a 20 with any vigor, I'll just get out. So what I'll do is I'll do exactly that. I'll put AISP, an order at 70, and I'll give it like 10 or 12, like 7 or 10 pennies in and around that. So let's go ahead and sit at 470 long for an entry there. We'll see if we get that dip trade, and then we're going to give it like 10 pennies. To see if it holds at the 20. All right, let's move back into Apple. Still 204.50, a little bit above, a little bit below, not much there. Let's flip back into some of these other ones. All right, any mark change? Okay, Nvidia off the lows, looking to curl right back, but it's still below the 10, still below the 20. Look for possible reshorting here on NVDA. I don't know, man. But maybe a short off that 119.84, possibly 120. Nvidia's been a rinse and repeat short all day, just really about where you want to get in. Let's see what comes in here.
Yeah, so I am, Tesla again, running away from me. Okay, Tesla, I see you, grr. So I wanted to get long at the 168.70 area. That was a level I liked for the short, as I have spoken about perhaps ad nauseum. This short did not work out for me. I did end up giving up a decent amount of my gains of the day. I'm not going to sit here and lie, but it's like I liked the position. I committed to the position, got it where I needed to. I'm not going to be too upset about that. Now you might be like, Adara, why are you flipping long? I have questions. Well, I'll hopefully have answers. The reason I'm flipping long here is because look at this area here earlier. This was initially what made me fascinated by this 168.70 area, and Tesla has been showing a lot of respect for that level. So I do want to get long here. It's also, you know, coiling up with the 90 MA. These are all things I like. This is all confluence. I like this look. Yeah, sorry, Greystone, saying where, you know, why is no trades? I'm trying to find some stuff I really like. I'm going to be honest with you. I've really only been in 3 names all day. Those names are Tesla, those names are Nvidia, and those names are A to the M to the D. So 1 Cybertruck and 2 chip names. I've really just been scalping all day, so basically just getting in and out of stuff as I like levels. This is going to be the vibe here, though. I'm happy I got situated here in my Cybertruck. Did I lose on Tesla? Yeah. Am I going to like get me down? No. If I still see stuff I like. You know, and I think this is one of the things I wrote. I said I've been like kind of do my version of a trading journal, just having tickers I like and little notes to myself. And one of the biggest ones that I've been kind of leaving and trying to remind myself of is don't try to avoid a ticker just because you didn't have a great read on it earlier. If you still have levels you like, if you have things that you think make sense, you do owe it to yourself to try. And so that's what I'm trying to do here on Tesla. Hopefully, you know, as Yoda says, there's no try, there's only do. So hopefully, much like Yoda, this trade will be green. But right now, I am right on Tesla, unfortunately. Also, GME, I tried to get short here. It did not. I like that 2460s, as I mentioned briefly. GME was like, yeah, I'm not going to give you that, Adara. I'm sorry. I was like, okay, GME. I understand the game has stopped for me for now. Well, it hasn't even started for me, let's be honest. But yeah, I mean, if we get rangy, I'll go long here and then short off the 90 MA. I have no qualms with that. I just want to make sure I'm seeing stuff I really like. Also, I drew that 2480 because if I was going to get into that short, that was going to be my line in the sand. I did like a little bit of this rejection and then support earlier. But you know what we can never reject and we will always support is Neil and his lesson of the day.
Yes, sir.
Do it.
Welcome to another lesson of the day here. We're going to talk about breakouts and the difference between good ones, bad ones, and what you look for, what you like, because there were a few today. Let's be honest about it. Whether it was Nvidia downside, Apple upside several times, GameStop made a break as well. You know, that it's just a nature of the game. I think it's one of the more simplistic trading ideas out there, and it's simply because it's like the ultimate if-then statement. You're not in the trade unless price X gets taken out. So like a stock gets above $100, you go long 101 cents, or it breaks $1, you go long $1.01, and then you look for that upside. It's usually at a pretty obvious level, and I think today with Apple at 200, that's sort of an obvious one, but it's not all the same. And we talk about this sort of splitting it up into different types of trades, even within the same general strategy like a breakout, you have different types of instances. Some you like more, some you like less. I'm only speaking for myself. As always, you got to backtest your own ideas. Do what works for you. Now, right away, the first idea that you can always have for a breakout trade is simply like an open break. And if you looked at what happened in Apple today, the open break, technically, if you look at the pre-market high, was at a random price of 193.50. But if you like an open break, it's going to work right away. There's not much to analyze here. Sean had the 94 break. I think when you're looking at that first move to the upside, I'm just going to show you why I have this trend line drawn, which Apple is breaking right now. So if you're not in this original break, I try to throw away on a really big trending stock that initial move until it stops going haywire. So when it stops going haywire, I then want to mark off like when it finds support. And then the second time it holds support, I want to look to see if it does that again. So you don't get any pullbacks. This is a pure parabolic move. The first pullback holds here. The second pullback holds here. I draw a trend line. And then I'm thinking I like the long. So in this situation, I'm always looking for another opportunity. In this case, the 200 break lines up almost perfectly with this holding the trend line. So how many times do I take it? I did take the 200 break once. I take it twice. You would have heard me say in the live show, I'm taking it 3 times if I have to. Because as long as it's holding that trend, 200 is too big of a level not to give it some shots. Now, everyone's going to be different, but 200 as well on Apple, just to give you more reasons to like it. You're breaking through fresh highs, like a monster level on the daily chart and weekly chart. Just huge resistance up here in front of $200. So you've got a lot going for this trade. Throw in the fact that it's holding the trend a couple of times off the open, and it's just something that you want to have for a breakout trade. There are going to be times you don't want the break that big in a parabolic move. So if I'm seeing something that's usually not moving that much, and you're looking at punching something 3, 4, 5% when that's already more than the average range on the day, I need more than one reason to do it. An example here would be that big level on the daily, so it's breaking to some all-time highs, huge resistance on the daily. Throw on top of that it's holding the trend. I don't have to worry about it breaking the trend line, then trying to take a breakout through the high. No, it's got multiple reasons why I can chase that move and go into a break. The other breakout trade, and I had already been stopped out of GameStop when it happened, is when you get the hold of the bottom and then break the bottom end of the range. And this one can be fantastic as well. But like I said, I didn't hold on to this. It broke 2280 was the low of the day here on GameStop. So a reversal breakout trade is a bit different. If I'm ever looking at a stock for a mean reversion and then a break at the local bottom, first, I want it holding some kind of a support level that means something. So GME here, there's your 23. I'll give you a 15-minute chart because you might wonder, well, what the heck, who cares about $23? Well, I'll show you why we care about $23. So if you look at the big parabolic move that it had, Roaring Kitty, thank you for that. Resistance was 23 before it gapped up, and then today we test 23 for the second time. So double top, double bottom here, the last 2 days at 23, previous resistance. So where it bounces matters. That's part one. Then do you have a clean breakout trade in there? So you've got an opening range top at about 23.60. So you do have a breakout set. When it breaks this high, clearly it goes into a parabolic move into a halt because GameStop is capable of that. So one, you've got an overextension breakout on Apple, which is tricky because you're really chasing that move at 200. The other one is you're doing a reversal breakout, which is holding a significant level at the bottom and then breaking out this level up at the top. One last one for you, because those are ones where I feel like they're not standard. Chasing something and then taking even dollar standard, but a big chase there, not always standard. Doing a reversal, a stock that's trending down, breaking it back to the upside, you're not really with the trend when you do it. However, the double top, double bottom, triple top, with the trend, that's a little more simple. So I'll give you the example, which was an easy one for Nvidia. Now, obviously, 1200 corresponds with the 12,000 level. Sorry, the 1200 corresponds with the $120 level. That was a huge breakout last week. Today, your opening range, reject the previous high. You're already heading down. Break the low, bounce off 120, put in a lower high at VWAP, retest 120, and just what you see here. it bounces exactly off $120. This is a real bounce. It goes to 120.40. That is about as standard as it gets for a breakout or breakdown trade. It shows you the trend in multiple ways: reject, lower high, test the bottom, lower high, test the bottom, lower high, break the bottom. Third time's a charm. It goes right down $1. It ended up just trailing me out there the last bit at the 120. But that's an idea of a standard breakout trade. Now here's the rub and why we're going over this. Those trades are not the same thing. When you're doing your journal or recording your trading strategies, you can't lump all of those together. It's like, breakout trades did this, this, and this. Those are all very separate. GameStop, if you took that break off the bottom, that's almost like a reversal. It's a reversal trade against the trend. Apple is a stock that's already done its ATR on the day, and you're taking a break through the top. Whereas Nvidia is a pretty standard breakout trade. So all of them are a little bit different, and you should treat them as such. This just goes to show, and the reason why your lesson of the day is breakouts, because you can have very different looking trades and setups based on the same concept. And as a trader, you want to make sure that you're analyzing each of those different trades based on their own merits and on their own setup. And they have their own reasons why you like them or don't like them. So, multiple ways to take a breakout trade. Hopefully you got 3 good examples there. And as always, good luck the rest of the day. It's setting up to be a wild one.
Thank you very much, Neil. Neil's lesson of the day, guys. Every day he's dropping hot lines. It's not just today. Every day around noontime, make sure you're with us to join for Neil's lesson of the day. All right, I'm going to get into Nvidia short again. I got stopped out, but we are doing a 20-period retracement here. I like this level, so short. NVDA at 120.01. I'm going to get stopped out through the break of the $0.25. So I'm going to have to give this one a bit more room. Let's see if we can get down a little bit more here. I'm going to sit at 82s for the beak wetter. We're printing 92s right now, so let's see what we get. We will not get upset no matter what. So short the monster NVDA at these levels, looking for an 82 print. Are we getting anything? There is a buyer at 90. You can see that. We held up at 90 there with some good support on NVDA. So we'll continue to watch that. Elon, hi Sharif. BA made some progress recently, reaching above 190 today. Shocks us with a big red candle. Appreciate your thoughts. Absolutely. Let me just put in my out on Nvidia before I take over on that. So we're going to go 120 and we're going to set at 28. 120, 26, and then we're going to cover the entire thing right there. So if Nvidia makes another high through the 20 period, then that's it. So let's have a look at Boeing for Elon. Let's pull that bad boy up. BA. So let's look at the daily, because he was talking about, the big red candle in the daily after, a decent move up. So it looks like the local low on Boeing there was after this day over here, April 24th, April 25th. We made that low in the early stages off 160. Since that 160 dip, the high that we made yesterday, we're up almost 21%, so 20 1/3%. So you're right, Elon. Interesting look. It's holding up at the 20. Look at that on the daily. The wick, Ram. The wick at the 20. It's holding up at those levels. So good look there. I like that. Now let's switch into the 15. Well, first of all, is there any news on Boeing? Let's find out quickly here. Boeing jet deliveries limp along with China on hold. Thing reads yesterday. Boeing reports, so we got Boeing report, the reported deliveries today. Boeing reports deliveries year to date of 131 aircraft, including 102 of the 737, made deliveries of 24 commercial jets, including 19 737 MAXs. All right, so they dropped some delivery numbers today, and it looks like the market didn't really like that, selling off, or it could be a sell the news event. I'm really unsure, but this is the 15 on Boeing, and we closed out just above 190 yesterday, and you can see the LOD today, 182.76. So yeah, a bit of a tougher move here, Elon. Well, we'll have to wait and see, Elon, because on the daily, you still haven't made any lower lows. You've topped out there. What I'd say, Elon, is you're looking at this area here, okay? So this is your recovery area. This trough is what you want to have your eye on. You want a 170 defend here. If you don't get a 170 defend on this latest pullback, I think that that's absolute trouble, because then you're starting to make newer lows again rather than making higher lows. So look for 170 Elon on a closing basis to get violated. If not, I think you got a good chance of reclaiming that 200 period here if they can keep their noses clean. And we all know what Boeing's like. Boeing's an unmitigated disaster, and as of late, and hasn't always been that way. 196.14 it looks like is where the 200 exponential is on BA. But yeah, tougher look for them today. All right, we're back out of the money on this Nvidia short, but I'm keeping my patience. I want to see if we can reject that 20 period, a bit below, a little bit out of the money, a bit in the money. So I'm going to pack my patience here, there.
Yeah, I think one of the hardest things with trading is packing that patience. I think also it's like, it's hard when you have a day, because I was initially up on the day. We had that nice little AMD trade. We were up on Nvidia. Tesla was occasionally on my side. And then we did have a little bit of a moment. Don't worry, I will get to GME in a minute, but I want to, rant a little bit first. So then we get to Tesla, which I just have not been handling well. This Tesla, I know Tesla is Tesla, and I just was not trading it as such. Initially, the short was a good idea. Then I went long, and then I was like, oh, maybe get out at your point of entry, which is what I should have done. I should have just trusted my instinct. Did not trust my instinct. Instead, was like, oh, Adara, it's fine. It's all good. You don't have a reason to leave yet, which technically I didn't. But I should have just, that's probably the one-time panic selling would have been an appropriate strategy. But yeah, all good. Shout out to Sharif as well, who I saw a little fist pump there. But yeah, I'm also keeping an eye on Nvidia and AMD. I just don't really have a trade in either right now. But I do have a trade on GameStop that I do think I need to talk about. I know I'm short GameStop. I know that is an unpopular opinion generally, but here's why I say short GameStop. Or not like I don't say two, but that is why I'm in it. So I liked this little level, support resistance flippity floppity here at around this 2460. I like the look. I like the stock. Shout out to Catman or Roaring Kitty. So then I sit down, I get involved. Initially, this looked beautiful. Then we're coiling back here. Like I said, 83s, like this 83, 85 level, that's going to be my level because that was where we had some pre-market resistance and some support. I think I could totally get, like the games could stop here. I'm going to be honest. You know what I mean? But I'd rather take the trade than be too scared and be too paralyzed by losing. And like it does suck when you were in the money and then you end up out of the money. Obviously, I'm not proud of what happened here with Tesla. But, I think you do have to be proud sometime of taking the initiative to take the trades, try new things, because you're not going to learn unless you try. And so, obviously, that could be like a bit of a weird slant on my trading day. It probably is. And, of course, I would love to get back in the money. But I'm the type of person where I feel like I always and I was saying this to Sharif, I feel like I always kind of do the best or trade the best when my back's a little bit against the wall. So, yeah, GameStop, push me against that wall. Tesla, run over me with the Cybertruck. I will keep going. We will keep finding opportunities. Right now, though, yeah, I feel like AMD and Nvidia could be something. And AMD's trying to coil back up. And if you reject VWAP again, it's on AMD. It is on. But yeah, GameStop right now, just on the precipice of making me leave. If we have something happening here at 70s where I see like an actual defined rejection, I'm tempted to add, but I also feel like adding into oblivion was part of my issue with some of these Tesla trades. Not that I don't regret every trade. I don't regret any of the trades. I just wish some of them had been handled better. The other thing I have an eye on here is going to be Affirm. Affirm, as I mentioned, was on the side chart. If we keep rejecting, this could be nice. GameStop, though, wants me to leave. So the games are going to stop for me. I will have to stop myself out of GameStop. How are you doing?
Good. Back into Apple here for another possible 205 touch. It's back long. I covered my AMD short. AMD. Nvidia short. We covered that one as it did break above again. So we're able to extract some profits on it, but I am negative on Nvidia because of the fat finger earlier. Very disappointed with that. Why am I long Nvidia again here? Oh my God, I gotta clean up these stops. It drives me absolutely crazy. Oh my God, that's on me. That is my bad there. What was it, Ram? Vote, yeah, sorry, I just gotta deal with this first. But this is a decent move here on NVDA. So let's see if we get a move up. So we're long 32s at this level, and now it's gonna break through the 20 period. I'm looking on the side chart over here. So even though I did not want to know, no, this is our 20 period rejection here. I gotta get out of this. This is my mistake on that. That's on me. So yeah, we're gonna have to get out of these positions right now. So out of Apple. Now I'm negative on the day. Now I'm very annoyed. So I'm gonna have to cool it down. But I should remind you guys that you can vote for your favorite ticker of the day. If you want the $10 winner that the Katina Man had on AAPL, go and vote for Apple right now. In the chat, you go ahead, you type in exclamation point, the word join, space, $, and the ticker of your choice. Make sure you are putting a space between the word join and the $, otherwise your vote will not register. So go ahead, get your votes in now. Otherwise, you're not going to have your say. And the afternoon rundown is made for you guys so we can cover the stocks of your choice, not ours. Ram, I think it froze again. If you can take that, thank you very much. So, yeah, go in, get the vote in. Now, JF Trader's voting for Tesla already. So, JF Trader's doing his part. Are you guys going to vote? Come on, 1320 Wolf. I see you chatting in there. Get to the voting, baby. Come on, Matt Carnes. I see you chatting as well. Get to vote. And same with you, Lone. Let's go. I want everybody to vote today. Let's have a record day for votes because I think you guys all want to see what Apple, who doesn't want to see the $10 banger? So get to voting right now if you want in the chat there.
Yeah, get to vote or else you'll have to sit and be like, what could have been? Well, you'll know what could have been if you have your say. That sounded really threatening. It's not a threat. We just want people to vote. Also, AMD, yeah, I got short here. I like that 158 level. The support area earlier, blah, 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 where I got out of my earlier short, doesn't matter. I like the level. Then AMD, and initially I was like, oh, well, we could be bouncing off the 90 MA, and I still think we might be. But I do love all of these gorgeous topping tail candles. We get to 158.40. Before I could even breathe, AMD's like, yeah, I don't want to do that. And goes below 158 at a time. I was like, okay, AMD, I see you. I see you, AMD. So if AMD stays below that 158, like, I'll watch what we do into 20s. The main level I'd like to say would be 158.40s, but honestly, that might be more than I'm willing to risk. So that 158.20, that's probably going to be the cutoff point for me. Right now, though, we are struggling to get anything above that 158.10s. And as I say that, AMD's like, what are you talking about? I'm at 158.15s, Adara. Get it right. I'm like, okay, AMD, I apologize. But also, Kyle Burnett, thank you so much to the $2 super chat. Join SPY dump to 530 already. So, yeah, someone wants the SPY to go to the downside. Take a look at that SPY for Big Spile Burdett. Oh, okay. SPY trying to knock at the door here at VWAP, trying to push a little bit lower. Honestly, these 534 rejections, those aren't bad. SPY is going on my side chart, more like my SPY chart. That's what I'm going to have to look at here. AMD might make me have to AM ditch this trade. Like I said, it's always a little bit disappointing when you go from having a great day to a meh day, but all you can do is learn, keep going, keep trying. So that's what we gotta do. The reason I stay positive is not because, you know, I know trading is really, it's a hard sport. It's a hard thing to do, but I think also being negative isn't gonna help make it any easier. That's why I like to have this positive attitude,
very good point.
Positive energy. AMD, why?
Why?
Just why? Good times, big smile. Yeah, Kyle Burnett laughing at big smile. So nice look there. AMD, do something at 158.20. Sincerely, Adara.
All right, we're in another NVDA short at this level. Nice, go. All right, so pleased with this. Great short there off 120.20. I covered there as it dipped into the low 90s, so we get some revenga on NVDA, but I think I'm gonna have to cool down the trades a little bit here because that trade was precipitated by revenga, and we don't want that, right? We need a cool head. I always talk about, Sonny Corleone and, anger clouding his judgment, this, that, and the other, and so that's what we're gonna try to practice what we preach over here. What I see is a whole bunch of app weakness on Lazon, on Meta, even, yeah, on Meta and on definitely on Tesla. Tesla kind of goes without saying here, but a lot of weakness on these names. You were kind of getting weakness on Nvidia, but the weakness has kind of stopped a little bit. It hasn't stopped for Meta. It hasn't stopped for Amazon. And it still hasn't stopped for Tesla because we're still now at low of days. And this is a great area for me to add to my Tesla position here because we haven't been down at these levels on the Cybertruck in a hot minute. Let's see. The last time we were here at these levels was, okay, well, not that long ago, about a month ago at these levels. Yeah, so May 10th was the last time we were down in this 167 area. Prior to that, obviously, you recall, in April, well, you dipped into the 140s. And that's the biggest position that I added. It was at that 147.5 area. I won't forget that. That was on this day, the 19th. But yeah, so interesting position here. Interesting look here on Tesla. It's still, I mean, the trend is just so negative on Tesla. Look at those highs from November 2021. It's still successively lower highs. There has not been a higher high. Forget about this one over here. This is, that's the split when we did that 3-to-1 split back in August of 2022. That's why it's outlying on the top there, but that's not a real candle. The fact of the matter is we're still with these lows, man, and there's definitely a downward channel too. Yeah, well, that's the way it is on Tesla, I guess. Anyway, let's get to the lesson of the day today, because we're talking about, speaking of downward channels like the one on Tesla, that's what we're talking about today, but we're talking about rising and falling channels as continuation patterns. So, technical analysis offers a variety of tools to identify potential trading opportunities within established trends. Rising and falling channels are powerful continuation patterns that help traders capitalize on the trade's momentum. This lesson explores how to recognize and trade these channel patterns for intraday and swing trading strategies. So let's get right to it. Understanding these rising and falling channels, we'll start with the rising channel. So both patterns involve price action confined within a channel formed by two parallel trend lines, one on the top and one on the bottom. The rising channel, obviously, it's going up as indicated by the name. This channel has an upward sloping trend line acting as support, that is the lower trend line there, and a roughly parallel resistance line, the top trend line. The price bounces between these trend lines, creating a series of higher highs and higher lows. Case in point, this great looking chart over here of a stock that will remain nameless, I guess, with an umpteen amount of touches at the lower end of the trend line and at the higher end as well. And then you get that decided breakout. We'll talk about the breakout trade, but there are several trades to be had with these rising channels. You can take advantage of the channel itself or wait for that decided breakout. We'll talk about that. The falling channel, not much different than the rising channel, to be honest with you. It's a downward sloping trend line acting as resistance. So that's the upper trend line in a lower channel, in a downward channel. And then there's also a similar parallel lower channel that acts as support. And the price bounces between these lines, also creating a series of lower highs and lower lows. Case in point over here, this Luna tether, one day. So there you go. You got the rising, or you had a nice move up, and then for about 2 months or so, you were trending downward. Then you got a decided break of that level, and we'll talk about the breakdown as well. So why are rising and falling channels relevant? What are they going to tell us? So they tell us that there's a continuation pattern in play. So rising and falling channels signal a continuation of the prevailing trend after a period of consolidation. This period of consolidation is kind of optional. But they also give you entry and exit opportunities. They tell you, based by virtue of their pattern, where the entry is, where the exit is. So if you're taking a rising channel, for example, you know that there is price action support at the lower trend line. So that is your hint to get in there. Now, getting in there can be in one of two ways. You can have a resting order at that level waiting to trigger, or you can get in after it proves itself that it's going to use that trend line as support, getting it in on the back end, as Neil likes to say. So two things. One, it's showing you continuation of the trend. And number two, it provides you entry and exit zones that you can get in. So that's why they're relevant. So how do we identify these rising and falling channels? Well, one, we need to look for a stock that's trending. By definition, these are continuation patterns. And so if it's a continuation pattern, there must be something to continue. So there has to be a trend either up or down. So we're looking for established trend. That is the key element in of an uptrend is, for the rising channel is an uptrend. A key element for a downward channel is a downtrend. Confirm the trend using moving averages or trend line analysis. You should be able to tell what the trend is just by looking at the chart. And then you have to also draw these parallel trend lines. You have to be able to create the channel. So it has to jive, right? So there has to be a successive series of higher lows for the rising channel and higher highs. If there isn't, then it could be a different pattern. It could be ascending wedge. It could be anything else, okay? But there have to be roughly parallel the two trend lines that you draw. So how do you trade these? Trading rising and falling channels. Well, first things first, direction matters here. So rising channels are suggesting to you a continuation of an uptrend. So you're looking for long entry opportunities near the support trend line or a bounce off it. Again, a couple of ways you can figure out along here. Either sit with a resting order or wait for proof. Falling channels, not much different. They're suggesting a continuation of a downtrend. So you're looking for short entry opportunities off that top end resistance channel or trend line. Okay? Pretty simple, right? No, it's not. Because there's breakouts that can happen from these channels. And the thing is, if it breaks out, you don't know if it's a fake out breakout or a legitimate breakout. That's what causes a lot of these channel trading troubles, right? So the key signal is a breakout above the trend line for a rising channel or below the trend line for a downward channel. However, be cautious of false breakouts that quickly reverse back into the channel. Now, you can use one of multiple strategies here. You can use a 3% rule. So you can say to yourself, I'm not going to get long or I'm not going to get short unless the price action breaks above or below the trend line by 3%. You can use a 3-day rule. That was championed by the book and John J. Murphy. He says, you know, wait for 3 candles, whatever time frame you're trading on. If you're trading on the 4-hour, then it's 3 4-hour candles in a row that close above or beyond that trend line before you get in. So you're looking for some sort of confirmation strategy here to avoid the breakout the false breakouts. You can also help gauge the legitimacy of the breakout using volume confirmation, right? So if you get a breakout above that trend line, look at the volume. Is the volume higher on average than the volume that was trading for the candles within the channel? If it's above average volume, you might have something there. And now, with respect to your stop loss and your take profit, you're placing a stop loss order just below support for the long trades in a rising channel and just above resistance for the short trades in a falling channel. Consider trailing stops. You see Neil using them all the time, right, to lock in profits as the trend progresses. Take profit targets can be set at the opposite trend line or based on technical indicators like Fibonacci retracements. And some additional tips I want to leave you guys with. Channel width here is very important. So in addition to looking at support and resistance levels based on the trend lines, you should be looking at the width between those trend lines, the upper trend line and the lower trend line. The width of the channel can sometimes offer clues about the trend's strength. Narrower channels suggest tighter consolidation and potentially stronger breakouts. You should also be looking at the channel slope. The slope of the trend line can indicate the pace of the trend, right? Steeper slopes suggest a more aggressive trend with potentially quicker price movements. But you should also know that the steeper the trend line is, the more likelihood of a mean reversion. And you could also combine it with other indicators. We've talked about this umpteen amount of times. Using it with momentum indicators like RSI or MACD can absolutely help your trading strategy. And other opportunities. We talked about the breakout of beyond the channels and looking for volume confirmation, but you can also trade within the channel, the Adair-Panera range, right? Defined rising and falling channels also provide the opportunity for range trading within the established resistance and support levels on the channel. The range can always fall through any time, so make sure to have risk management strategies in place before entering said trade. Adira.
Yeah, Sharif. Yeah, I wanted to include that in the message, or in the lesson, because I think it is something, it's another way to play these trends. Of course, you can have that breakout, but it's, you know, if you want to get a little bit of profit, you want to nibble on some of that cheese, that bread before that breakout, that's always nice as well. And that's actually one way, that's how I played NVIDIA when we had that NVIDIA breakout in 1200 last week, right? Well, I played it through NVDL, but you had this kind of casual climb into 1200, and there were ways that you could just get long the bottom of that range and get out at the top. And then when you had your breakout, you'd have a piece of the dream. You'd be like, woo, like that the ape that we have in that animation. That's how it feels. But anyways, so yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is that I appreciate you know, that we added that. I wanted to add that little snippet, Susan, to the lesson, because I do think that is I think something to remember. Also, the SPY. I was about to write a memoir called "Why Are You Doing This and Can You Stop?" And I was going to address it to the SPY because I just wanted 70s. That's all I wanted. I wanted 71s. I was going to be pleased as punch. The plan was just to kind of scrape this out, you know, in and out. And the SPY had other plans, and its plan was to not get any lower than 81s. I don't know why, but that was its plan. I took a cool 6 pennies, and I said, SPY, I can't do this anymore. I can't spend all my time spying on you. I have to have other trades. I still think this range can be valid. To be clear, I do still think the SPY is a short, but for my purposes, it was just not the vibe, which is why I had to say bye, bye, bye to the SPY.
Bye.
We're not in sync anymore. Yeah, SPY.
Bye.
So yeah, not the vibe, but shout out to, I know Kyle Burdett, I know is short this, I'm pretty sure. We had this gorgeous double top at 538, 534.80. So like nice look here for the SPY. Again, 534 shorts, that could be something I look for. It was just not how it was going the way I was trading. I said, Derry, you're gonna get frustrated and do something very silly, so better you get out before you do that. Also, what I'm trying to do to mitigate some of the unfortunate paper handing and decisions that have occurred earlier is to make sure I really have all my patience and my confluence, all my eggs in my basket before I take these trades. Shout out to the Eggman over here to my right. That one of the captain proteins. I am the walrus. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, shout out to the Beatles. But yeah, Tesla. I initially wanted that 9 EMA rejection. I said, Adara, you and Tesla have not been besties, to put it lightly. Ooh. So make sure that trades, like, honestly, I gave up all my days gains with this little Cybertruck. That's not fun. That's not great. And I mean, sure, I might have liked the trades I'd taken on it. I don't, you know, no regrets over here. But I think if you want to take other trades in it, make sure they make sense. So now I'm like, Adara, just wait. If we see this rejection of that previous base, which was that 168.30s, that's where things get really spicy for me. And that's where you take the shorts. So not trying to jump into every opportunity, finding the opportunities that make sense for you. As I speak, Tesla's trying to have like a waving neon sign being like, Adara, short me. So yes, Tesla, I'll monitor you in a second. But I have my eye on that. SPY trying to push higher, happy I got out of that trade. Tesla also basically saying its neon sign was a lie because it's getting back into that 40s area. I think if I do anything right now, what I'll do is short Tesla. I don't have a read on Nvidia or AMD, which are the other two names I was trading. Apple could be doing something here, question mark, around that 9 EMA, but nothing that I feel comfortable trading. So Tesla, it's all on you, kid. How are you doing?
Good, I like that. You put way to put pressure on it there, Dara. I'm like, come on. All right.
It's a stock. It can't have. I don't think it has feelings.
I know. I don't really care about its feelings anyway. I'm not gonna lie. Right. All right. I'm long a couple of names here. I'm just putting in my stops. 427. 427. We're gonna go 48, and 427. We'll go 40 for the soft one. Oh, wow, we're already going to get stopped out of that. All right, so I'm looking for a 50-period hold on Softy, but looks like that's going to get stopped out. Yeah, that was really quick there. Got stopped out of that, and I might get stopped out of AISP here, too. I'm looking for a VWAP hold on this name, but it's not incoming at the moment. Sucks to be me. I'm long 56. We're printing 52s here, but you know, I'm wondering why I'm in this trade. This thing didn't respect VWAP all day. AISP, I don't know why I'm in this trade. This is probably not a very good trade. I'm going to leave very little room for this one. So if it breaks 50 by a couple of pennies, that's the end of the trade there. Let's look quickly here at Microsoft because I think I got out of that one a little bit too quickly. I do like this trade here. I think that this is interesting at the 50 period in addition to the fact that it's also the IB high at this level. So I'm getting back in. On Microsoft. Let's see if I can get back in there. And so we're long at 60s there on Softy. I like this trade. I think it can make its way back into 428. This is the IB high that we're getting in at 427.40-ish. That is the IB high. So I'd like to see if this can hold on to that level, but it does look like a bit of a head and shoulders pattern just a little bit at this level. So yeah, that could spell not so good for me at these here levels. We're long 60s. So let's put the out at the break of 33s because that is the lower end of the channel. So we'll go 427, we'll go 25 like that. Okay, so we'll see if we get the hold there. That's 0 for 2 now on Softy. All right, AISP. Okay, so I'm not that bad of a trader then. Okay, so we'll put the next level there at 65s on AISP. This one holds a little bit of VWAP. You know, it's not much of a move. Let's be honest about it. Back into 61s. I was just worried that it wasn't going to hold VWAP, AISP, because it really hadn't looked like it was respecting it all that much on the day. And it was like, why did you get into this kind of haphazardly a little bit? We'll see if this one holds up here. Apple putting in a bit of a top. Now, this is the first time that Apple's going to touch the 20 period on the day. If we touch 203.57 currently, where Apple is, that's going to be a 20 period dip into said level. So we'll have to wait and see if we break down. Now, I got to tell you, we're at 19.1 right now on the future. So, you know, kind of a little bit indecision on some of these Mag 7 names, a little bit above, a little bit below. We're already out of the money on this Softy trade over here. Oh, let's go back into Softy. Yeah, we're out of the money on the Softy trade. It looks like we're going to get stopped out again. No way. Softy, I don't know. This looked like a long to me. Maybe I'm just wrong. So we'll just have to accept that. Anyway, let's see if Softy wants to either stop me out or make its way back up. Let's have a look. Yeah. Well, let's see what people are talking about in the chat. Yeah, look at Microsoft on the 15. He wants me to look at, says 1320 Wolf. Let's pull that up. Yeah, so it's respecting the 20 on the 15. That's kind of what I see there. And the same thing, I see the IB low, the IB high right there. That's the 930 candle. The IB high was 427.40. And so I was expecting, you know, I'm not expecting, but, you know, you can kind of predict whether or not this is a level where you could find support better than, you know, a random area. So we'll see. If the 20 holds up on the 15, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's the 50 on the 5 too. So possible confluence there. Let's go back into AISP. Did I get printed there on AISP or what? I'll send it to you, Adair.
Yeah, be good, Tesla. That's what I have to say. Yeah, so basically, I'm proud of myself for getting involved in this because I know I keep saying that, but I think the thing is, like I said, you have to, if you don't believe in yourself, no one's going to believe in you. The markets aren't going to believe in you. Although actually, if you're in this floor, everyone will believe in you because we have a really supportive floor. But also, like, in all seriousness, if you don't have that confidence and that faith in yourself, you're trading kind of just on fumes. You know what I mean? So you want to have that something to believe in. And so I say all of this kind of hallmark nonsense to basically be like, I got back in Tesla. Did Tesla slap me around a little bit today? Not in like the fun Sean animation way? Yes, it did. Did I have some bad trades on this? Am I doubting it? Oh, yeah. But did I like this level? Yes. So that's why I wanted to get involved. This was a huge level for me. I just played it not the best earlier today. So I said to Dara, if this level comes back in, what are you going to do? Wait, be patient, which I did do, and then you're going to trade it. So that's what I did. I had a smaller position on this. It still gives me enough that I can take a beak wetter, like I can still take some profit out, but it is smaller than how I was approaching some of these trades earlier. Because I'm like, you know, you want to get it with a new focus, a new drive, a new kind of zest here, a new approach. So I don't love these 90 EMA bounces. That's why I'm trying to get out part of this position around 168. However, I will play this like a range if I have to. That's right, Tesla, you listen to me. I'm going to be taking some out here if we get to 168, then adding back in and getting out. Chopping around here, trimming the beard. I don't know what I'm saying. The point is, we're going to be getting in and out of this Tesla. These topping tail candles at that level I like, they tell me, Adara, stay, wait, be patient. We break above into that 168.40s area. That's where things are getting a little bit hand wavy and people will have to leave. When I say people, I mean me. But for now, we're going to stay involved. We're gonna keep fighting the good fight. Not fighting is a weird word, but we're going to stay in this trade for now. But also, if you have any tickers you'd like to look at, say Tesla, AMD, Apple, Microsoft, I don't know. You know whatever ticker you like. You know what you do? You take that ticker and you go into the chat right now and you go, join, space, your ticker of choice. Look at that. Microsoft, AMC, Meta, Amazon, Google, Apple, whatever ticker you like, you go there and you vote right now.
Yes.
And then that cuts off at 1:50. So in 1 hour and 7 minutes, there will be no more vote. No more voting.
What's going on?
GameStop apparently
Jeez, the Katina Man is $3 in the money on GameStonk as it absolutely pumps up there. Let me just load it up. Wow. Thank you guys for pointing that out. I did not have eyes on GameStop. What the hell did AMC just do? Why did it pop up into 470? Oh, that's earlier. Yeah. Sorry, Katina, man. 514 AMC, 2571 on GameStop. They're both moving. The Catman just tweeted something, guys. Yeah, the Catman tweeted a banana of options basic 101. That was around 13 minutes ago. Somebody did message me that in the chat, but they said, watch GME. So I looked at the Catman's tweet, and it was just a banana confused with options trading. So I'm looking at the comments here to see if he added a comment. It didn't look like he added a comment. Anyway, Roaring Kitty tweeted, and well, you know what? When Roaring Kitty tweets, Ram, usually GameStop moves up, and there we got a 25 breaks. Still 26, 24 HOD on GME. We haven't hit 26 yet, but 25.75 was where we're at now. 514 here for AMC. Wow, what a hold there at the 20 period on AMC. Wasn't respecting that 5. It looked like it was respecting those technical indicators because I had a loser on AMC today. I'm a little disappointed about that. So we'll continue to watch to see what that bad boy is up to at the moment. Oh, wow, we're back in the money on the soft one. Happy about that. Let's see if we're above 18. We're above 19.1 now on the future, guys, but we're still negatory on the day because the closing print yesterday was 19.111. So we're a skosh below that now at 19.109. So, yeah, look out for a possible rejection at today's closing print on the future. You know, I'm not saying that we're going to reject here, but it is something to be aware of, especially if you're in a Mag 7 long. So, yeah, keep your eye on GameStop. Here we go. The boys are back, baby. These memes are back, and they're all in Greensville today. GameStop's up 3 1/3. AMC 8 1/4. Oh, baby. There we go. And they both done shareage on the day. 54 million shares for GameStop. 23.5 for AMC. So the volume is there, and it's letting you in. All right. I want to mention something here. What we printed nicely on ASIP, AISP. I took out 65s. It's back to 65s here, but I'm going to wait for 75s. Let's go ahead and put the beak wetter at set 75 level. It is above that key area of resistance at 70, so we may or may not get this print. A bit of a local area there for sure at 70. You can see all the troughs that bounced off that 70 area. If they were bouncing off it before, chances are they may reject off it now. Support becomes resistance, and resistance becomes support. TA101, not options 101. Roaring man. So we'll keep an eye on that because he put a picture of options trading on the screen, and a banana was trying to learn options trading. It has other things to do with Dara. It wants to trade as well. So we'll have
it wants to get in the game.
There we go. Microsoft, I'm back out of the money on this one, breaking down again below 60. So it does seem like there is a bit of a resistance level at set 427.60. If it keeps going down below $1/3 of a dollar, I'm out.
Don't you love when stocks pick the most random resistance levels that are just like random decimal points, and you're like, oh, like why is this the level you chose? But yeah, so Tesla though chose to break below 168. So someone is happy. I am that someone. And I'm mostly just happy because I did not get scared away from earlier questionable decisions made entirely by yours truly on said name. It's like Adara. You got to make those mistakes. When you fall, you have to get back up. Dirt off your shoulders, as Jay-Z says. On to the next one, as Jay-Z also says. So not that I'm trading based on Jay-Z lyrics, but hey, like some of them are pretty apt for what you got to do here. As Obi says, and again, shout out to Obi for taking this seat over the last few days. Where's the next trade? Right now, this trade was just getting back in Tesla.
When you see Obi, tell him I want my money.
I thought you already sent BPI on the case.
Yeah, well, you know, the more amount of people on the case there, the more chances I can recover.
Yeah.
I want my money.
Yeah, you.
I love how BPI is getting involved. He's right there. He's in the red. Oh, he hasn't seen Obi in a while. I wonder why. No, we're kidding, of course, guys. Katina Man says Obi moved to Costa Rica. He doesn't want to pay out. We're kidding, guys. It's just a funny little thing between the Obsters and I about which one would hit 200 first. Yeah. He took Tesla. I took Apple. Today, the whole thing got resolved. So I'm just trolling the dude. I love it.
Yeah, it's all. I think trolling is how we show affection here.
It is a little bit, right?
At TraderTV.live, like, you know.
I agree.
Like Ramin and Fabian are always trolling us in our ears. We're laughing. We're trolling each other. Everyone's trolling everyone. It's a great time. I do love these markets, and I love this community. And Tesla, I love you. Not believe I just confessed my love to his stock, but hey.
All good.
No, and honestly, no emotion here. I'm just happy that we had that breakdown. We come back to 168, knock on that door. I shall add to this position. I have no qualms. But right now, if we break lower, hey, I'll take you out a low day, Tesla. Watch out. Ooh. I don't know why I'm threatening these stocks in a weird voice, but you got to do what you got to do.
Threaten it.
Also, Affirm. I think it was Manuel Palma saying Affirm back above VWAP. That indeed it is. I had eyes on Affirm earlier. I initially was going to go short at 32. Thank goodness I did not. Affirm here is at 32.60. So yeah, Affirm definitely affirming the long's confidence in this name. Great look here. Trying to get back above that 32.80, which seems to be an area of resistance. You might be like, Adara, why do you say that? Well, with this gorgeous bull flag-ish area, we stop at 32.80 on a closing basis. Not once, not twice, not thrice, not twice, but 5 times. Yeah, not Obi thrice though, Sharif. We tried, but we didn't. But then we break a little bit lower. We have a little bit of chop and churn. A little bit of chop and churn. We've been chop and churning all day on Affirm. Then we try to get back to 32.80, and Affirm says, not so fast. So I'm like, okay. But you know what you can do, though, is Affirm and any other ticker you want to see. You have exactly 1 hour left to vote, to see those bad boys on the screen with Sharif on the big green screen, and then also Neil and Sean at the desk. How do you see Sharif talk about your stock on the big desk? I'll tell you.
Right
join,
there.
Exclamation point, join, space, Tesla, Meta, Amazon, Google, Apple. Make sure you have your $ in there, your exclamation point, join, space, $. And if you do that, well, the possibilities are endless. No, they're not. They're just, you'll have your ticker in there. But yeah, also, I would like to clarify, unfortunately, Stash is still not a ticker unless like things really change while I was on vacation. But no, all jokes aside, there are weirdly a lot of votes for Sharif's mustache. Shout out to Sharif's mustache. But if you were a ticker you would like to see, let us know. How goes GME? Oh, I was wondering what that button was for.
Travolta's just like, come on, where's the stash?
The Travolta. You gotta love him. He looks so confused. What is he looking for there? He's like, where's he?
I think he's outside of Jackrabbit Slims, I'm pretty sure. That movie's great. It's one of my favorites.
All right. Look, here we go again on AISP. We got into 70s. I was looking at this area on 70s. I'm sitting at 75s, and we reject 70 here. I'm not really surprised that we're rejecting this level. This was a key technical resistance level again, looking for a breakout. We didn't get it. I got stopped out again on Microsoft. So I think 0 for 3. Yes, 0 for 2. 0 for 2. Okay, so it's not as bad as I thought. 0 for 2 on the soft one over here. Yeah, I don't have a read on this one. This one is retracing. I keep thinking it's going to bounce because these bottoming tail candles keep coming in and it keeps making lower highs. So I think I'm going to have to leave this one alone because I don't have the appropriate read on it at the moment. But I'm looking at Apple here. We got a 20-period bounce again. So it does hold up at the 20-period quite nicely over here. It didn't even make a 20-period touch. You could say this one kind of tried to make a 20-period touch over here. These two candles at 12.05 and 12.10 because they closed below the 10-period. You have the same kind of thing over here where they closed below the 10-period. Didn't quite, though, make its way down to the 20. That could be an indication that it's awfully bullish. Anyway, looking to curl up again. A bit of a rounded bottom now on the dead one as this one has based out and now is putting in higher highs and higher lows on said 5-minute chart. Apple looks like it's curling back. Could be to touch 205 again. We know 205.45 is the HOD on the day. I just want to have a look to see how my other names are doing. All right, so yeah, Pandub, we're doing all right on that because those are the other names that we're holding. Li Auto, Li Auto, I'm about to get stopped out of Li Auto. So I got long $20 for a Li Auto technical trade. This was a consolidation area. Let me show you guys. So I got back into Li Auto with baby shares in my personal account. This was the kind of the reason I got in is because it was basing at 20. And if you've looked at this one, you see that there's a downward channel here that it's been respecting. And if I put my stop at $18.77, kind of a random area, and now we have an 18.82 low, and I believe we are near the low of day. Now, there is negative catalyst today for these Chinese EVs. In case you didn't know, it looks like the EU will actually finally put in the tariffs that they've been talking about, these protectionist tariffs against Chinese electrical vehicles as early as this week. So looking today at XBEV down 5, Lee down 3, NEO 5 3/4. And Zeekr, who absolutely killed on earnings, is down now 6.5, despite being up 6.5 in the pre. So it hasn't been a good day for these Chinese EVs. I didn't think it was going to affect Li Auto all that much, personally, because Li Auto doesn't export cars, right? They're not looking to go into the EU. So I figured, well, how's that going to affect them? I guess because they have future plans possibly to export to the EU. And then if they did, well, then this kind of puts the kibosh on that, or at least for the time being, or kills their margins, or increases their prices, or all of the above. Anyway, I'm just thinking out loud here. In any event, Li Auto, I'm going to get stopped out if this thing drops 5 more cents. 18.82 is the LOD. My stop is at 18.77 on my private account, personal account here. Li Auto is going to be another 0-for-2 trade on Li Auto because we lost $1.50 last time we traded this, you know what. So anyway. All right, back into current trading. 205 incoming on AAPL. It could be another 205 take and break, baby. We already had a 205 take and break earlier because it was a 205.45 HOD. Is it time to get back in the iPhone at the moment here, Adara, as we sometimes say about Tesla and the Cybertruck?
Yeah, I mean, I like that. You know, I think Apple deserves a nickname other than the dead one. So I'm really proud of us for being like, you know what? We're sorry, Apple. Are we? I don't know. But yeah, no, in all seriousness, Apple was really not the day trading name for quite some time. Congrats to it for now deciding it would like to join the living stocks, its peers in the Mag 7. So good luck for that. Also, 5 minutes, we do have an auction. I just remembered. So let me check what auction that is. Oh, a zombie. Oh, Ramin saying Apple could be a zombie stock. Yeah, props up for that, because that is, I mean, we love any kind of puns or jokes over here on this desk. That is for certain. So, yeah, auction-wise, we do have an auction. It is going to be the 10-year note, and that's going to be coming through in 4 minutes. So we're going to keep an eye out for that. I am in Tesla right now. Tesla, if you want to break low of day, I'll be pleased as punch. What I'm going to do, I did add a little bit to this position because I had no shares, and that was really because I didn't want to have too large a position, because I was like, Dara, you don't have the best read on Tesla. Like, it's fine if you want to get back in. It makes sense. You like the levels, yada, yada, but you don't want to go through with full force. That's why I had a smaller position initially. However, though, I decided to add back in because I do want my low of daybreak, and I'm going to be packing my patience for it. The Cybertruck is packed. My patience is more present than my patience normally is. So that's nice. As long as we stay below 168, I'm going to be pleased as punch here. I do not mind this trade. I just would like to get some more of this out. I did get part of this out at 168. Obviously, took that out early, but that was a planned exit. I thought we'd have another shot at that 168.20, and I could add a little bit more in. And Tesla was like, what are you talking about? You're not going to get that opportunity. I said, I understand. That's fine. You do you. But yeah, so we're going to be getting out half of this at a new low of day break. Currently low of day, 147. Well, sorry, well, not 147. 167.41. My profit taker, 167.42. So if we break below there, I will be pleased as punch, and I will still have a nice little piece for the dream. That, again, the average on this obviously did have to average down to add to this position, but I don't mind because, again, I'm not, you know, obviously I do want to be trying to make more profits. I was saying to Sean last week, last week is my first profitable week of trading since going live. But the thing is, too, is I want to learn. You know, I really want to be learning, and that's why I think taking this low of day Tesla break is going to be something that I learn from, something I'm trying to grow from. So let's see how that goes. Nvidia doing something fascinating here. I'm going to get long at the 9 EMA. Why, you may ask? Maybe you didn't. But why I like that is because look at this little bounce we had earlier, that support at 120.60. Where do we happen to be having a little chop and turn? That's right, 120.60. Nvidia, yeah, look at Nvidia trying to have this top break here at that previous support. I see you, Nvidia. Watch out. But yeah, so NVDA is definitely on my radar. That is for sure. But I have to deal with its Mag 7 cousin Tesla first, because Tesla, again, right now it's not really stressful for me. I'm just trying to be cognizant because I've not had like the read of my life on this stock today by any means. I would love for it to just stop bouncing at lows of day. It's like, Tesla, get low, low, low. Like, just do it. We're gonna have to wait and see what we do here. NVIDIA deciding it did not like my thesis and actually having a little bit of a moment here, trying to push back about 10 pennies with a topping tail candle. Neither of those factors are things I like, so I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that. Right now, though, just babysitting this Tesla and waiting for our auction that we're getting in about a minute here. 10-year auction.
What, is it the 10-year? Oh, good call on that. Okay, that's an important one, obviously. Essentially, all the well, not all, but a large part of the mortgage rates down south are based off that 10-year note. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. Currently, the 10-year, the futures on the 10-year trading at 4.456. That's currently right now. We have 1 minute left until the auction. Obviously, it takes us a little bit of time to get the result. We'll be watching, obviously, this auction because it does come ahead of CPI, does come ahead of FOMC. So I'm obviously no auction expert like some of the other commentators, but I wanted to see if, possibly here interest was subdued ahead of these big economic numbers. Nothing really personally that I know. Anyway, 10-year, yeah, so we'll see exactly what we get there. Let's have a look at some of these names. Yeah, Apple's right back into high day again. There we go, 205. There it is. It's breaking 205 as we speak. We know already that the high of day is at 205.45, but it really is rounding. What the hell did Microsoft just do? Why did it fly up like that into high of days? That's the auction, eh? Okay, I'm kind of surprised by that, Neil, to tell you the truth, because yeah, it's true. It's true. But Microsoft kind of just jumped on its own. I didn't really see anything else.
Tesla got a bit of a move up there.
It did, eh?
But
look, Microsoft jumped from 427.25 to 428.79.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I really didn't understand that. Anyway, I'm looking to see if there's anything coming on Microsoft. I haven't seen anything yet. That came in on my blotter. We'll keep eyes out on that. But a topping tail candle into high a day on MSFT, a little weird, and now it's selling off. Here we go. It's going to break 428, very topping tail-ish. Yeah, 80 pennies off the high right now in one quick, swift move. That's not auction on MSFT, says Big Cal. Yeah, I mean, we don't know yet, Big Cal, but
we got
yeah.
The auction.
We got the auction, huh? We haven't really seen the move quite yet because we're dancing at 19.1 right now.
Yeah, it's not. We got 4.915% versus 4.895%. So that's slightly higher than the previous number there. Nothing too fancy schmancy for that auction number.
There is. What is it, Neil? Okay, Neil's got something. He's going to send it to me in a second, guys. But there could be something here on the soft one because you don't usually get a big boy move like that. Where was that big boy move when I was long? Come on, man. Neil, there it is. MSFT is considering a big new software bundle as it works out. Okay, so we'll keep eyes on that. And they're going to charge for AI. Okay, so basically we know that they have that Copilot, and so that's where they're going to make money. Microsoft is considering a big new software bundle as it works out how to charge for AI, sources say. There it goes, right back into the highs again at 428.5. We know that it's 428.75 HOD. A lot of tape now moving around here on Microsoft. Very volatile on this new name. Everybody and their mother wants to monetize AI. I mean, how could you not? We already know that they're going to use Copilot. Copilot very much is still an enterprise product. How do they make this for the regular Joe Schmo consumer? As we saw Apple demonstrate very clearly yesterday how this is going to be used by the consumer, not enterprise and not companies. So Microsoft doing a bit of a dance right now. Meta also getting a pump through 500 into 501. Good move there on META as it comes into the 50 period on the 5. So a lot of movement here, Adara. Google as well. Goggles just got a nice little pump up there as now we start to see the reaction to the auction. We took 19.1. It looks as if we're moving into higher days, guys. 19.120. We know that 19.137 is HOD. We're about 20 points off that higher day, but everything in their mother's cousin in Mag 7 world is pointing up right now. Even the monster Nvidia is showing a green candle here at 120.50. So decent move here for these Mag 7 names. Can we get some continuity on some of these names to head to the high side? Well, we'll have to keep an eye on that, Adair.
Yeah, talk about a reauction there. That reaction from the auction was quite intense, and it did push me out of my Cybertruck. I did add, and again, I'm going to stand by this edition because I did like that rejection at 168. It got involved a little bit more, 167.82. It looked great. It looked gorgeous. Tesla was like, ha, I'm going to push it, but I don't know why that was a laugh. I apologize. Tesla pushes above 168.
Pamp it.
Okay, Tesla. Yeah, pamp it, Tesla. You and I are not friends right now. No, I'm joking. It's all good. It is too bad. I would actually be up on the day if not for these Tesla trades. But again, I can't look at it like that. Fair. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. There were things I could have managed better. I will fully admit that. But again, you miss 100% of the trades you don't make, to paraphrase Wayne Gretzky's saying. And so all these trades, you know, they could have worked out. And I think part of the issue, some of these was going to be points of entry. Part of it was going to be share size. Either way, though, I can't sit around and like, you know, harumph because the trades didn't go perfectly. All you can do is learn and grow. And again, I know I sound like a Hallmark card. I know I sound like an after school special, but that's how you traded it. Again, I think what really was a little bit bummed me out about today was the fact that I did end up starting out positive in the day, but I can't not trade just because things are going well. You know what I mean? You got to find, and I appreciate that we're in the same boat here. It's like these markets like to knock the wind out of your sails, to go with that boat metaphor.
Oh, yeah.
What you have to do is say, no markets, I'm still here. I will sail without a sail.
Mas.
I will run this boat purely on my own adrenaline. The boat analogy got a little bit lost, but that's the point I'm trying to make is, you know, I know I do harp on about positivity, but I think it's a huge part of trading. Trading is such a mental game, and I said I've noticed that more than ever, especially since going live. So that's why I will continue to go on about that. Michael MB saying it's a SpongeBob laugh. That weird laugh. I guess so. Yeah, I forgot. But I can't. Yeah, whatever his laugh is. But yeah.
You can do Woody Woodpecker. Right? Anyway,
yeah, I can do that.
All right, I'm long Apple at these levels here. I'm long at the third of a dollar, looking for a high of day break. We're basically at high of day as we speak. 45s is high of day. Let's see if we can get that 50 penny break. Small size here, looking to possibly add and defend that 205 level. We're above the 10 period again on Apple, but we are inching closer to that high of day, so expect volatility. The future also very much near high of day, but possible double top. Right, we know that it's 19,137 HOD. We made it back into, on this candle here on the future, 19,134. So we're unable to break through the previous high. So be careful. We could be getting a possible double top at these levels. Microsoft as well, for those who are wondering what it's doing. I see there's a lot in the chat. They are announcing ways that they're looking at to monetize AI. Again, the Copilot headline was specifically for enterprise users rather than the average Joe Schmo, you know, on their computer. But I saw that they released an AI computer not that long ago, I believe like 2 weeks ago or something like that, and had an ARM processor. It was built on ARM infrastructure, so I'm not really sure exactly what's going on there. Big Kyle Burdett reloaded. SPY puts heavy with option to swing. I like it, Big Kyle. I hope you print. Obviously, we are near high a day, so if you're going to get a decent entry right now for the short, it's definitely going to be here. I hope you print. No question about that. Shout out to Big Kyle Burdett. Let's see what people are talking about there in the chat. SPY triple top, yeah, possibly here, says KP, because we know that we inch closer to it. 19,128. We got to that level around 11:30 today. So we'll see if we can continue to head up. We're out of the money right now on Apple, but I'm looking to defend that 205 area to see if we can continue to print higher highs and higher lows. It was a great 20-period retracement. So I'm going to sit at, let's go ahead, at 210 for that defense. We'll see if we can get a better print in and around there or help us fix our cost basis just a bit. 205.45 HOD on AAPL. All right, some other trades here to talk about that could be happening. Goggles just got and broke through VWAP and break even on the day. 175.01 is yesterday's closing print. Google just came into that level. Be careful there. Same thing with Meta. Meta just retraced into VWAP as well, into 502. So some of these are really curling here to the high side. Well, they're still negative on the day, but definitely off the lows. Amazon still kind of dead, but you know, breaking through the 10, maybe inching into the 20. Amazon has been kind of weak on the day. Same thing with Tesla, breaking through the 10, inching into the 20. This could be a break of the 20 because we got into the 20 last time. So we'll continue to watch and see what we get there. But yeah, some decent retracements to the high side here on the future.
Yeah, I mean, I have to shout out Neo Roberts there. Not Neil Roberts, but Neo Roberts, who's in the chat.
This guy.
Neo Roberts saying that, yeah, cheesy phrases stop from putting on cheesy trades. I agree, and I love that, so appreciate that. That's the type of energy we're trying to bring. Now, do they always stop me from putting on cheesy trades? Not always, but that's the goal, right? We're going to get there. Like, it's a journey. It's not like, you know, you magically, you know, climb the trading Mount Everest. You're like, hey, I'm here with my $1 million. No, unfortunately, that's not how it works, right? You got to take those baby steps. Last week was a good week. Today, the market was like, yeah, Dara, we're going to take your ego from 100 to 0, the opposite of the Drake song. And I'm like, that's okay. I like that. Started out the day okay, and then the market was like, no, Adara, you and Tesla are not friends today. I said, that's okay. You got to keep going. You got to take what the market hands you. We will get that lesson started up in a little bit, but I just want to, right now I'm still in this Nvidia trade, and to leave Nvidia unwatched would probably not be my favorite life choice. So let's see, Nvidia sitting pretty on this little 9 EMA, looking like a little superstar. Nvidia, if you want to walk that catwalk up to the upside into that 120.80, I'd be pleased as punch. Right now, basically flat on this position, but I would obviously love it. I was not flat on this position, but Nvidia, don't take that and go to the downside. Take that and go to the upside. Anyways, if you want to look at Nvidia, AMD, IWM, SPY, I'm just looking at tickers on my side chart, what have you, on the afternoon show with Sharif and Sean and Neil, this is what you have to do. You have to go right now in the chat. Exclamation point, join, space, $, whatever ticker you like. Nvidia, GME, Tesla, Microsoft, AMC, Meta, Amazon, Apple. Those are, of course, that is not an exclusive list. Any ticker that is a ticker involved in the trading is a ticker you can use.
Yes.
So whatever ticker you fancy, whatever ticker is your fancy.
Oh, she got the pushback now, guys. That's dangerous right there when she does the pushback thing.
Yeah, anyways, I can't believe I've never thought of that pun. But anyways, Sharif will say whatever tickles your fancy. So yeah, whatever ticker you want to see, you go there right now, not to make that sound like a threat. If you want to, you can go in there, exclamation point, join, space, $, the ticker that you want to see. Also, Nvidia, you know what I'd like to see is you do something before I start this lesson, because otherwise, Nvidia, I don't want to have to leave this trade, but I'm also not going to leave you unattended. Because you're like, a child at the airport. You cannot ride that plane on your own. You need a chaperone. So just watch yourself.
I love it. All right. Let's see here. Short Meta at this level, and there we go. We really tight stop. So we got out as it did break through that level, but I'm still in this Apple long trade. I'm really worried about this 205.45 acting as a double top. Yo, the future is headed right back up. Watch out, Big Kyle. Obviously, I hope you print, but we're right back in on the NQ, not on the ES. We are at highs. There we go on Apple. Now we have a new high a day, and now we're printing nicely here. 30 pennies in the money. Apple squeezing, guys. Here we go. 205.65 now. We're long 33s. Let's see if we can get a move into 206. I'm just going to hold this. Let's see exactly what happens. Big move up here for AAPL, 6.5% in the clear, and it prints a new high of day. Obviously, this is a blue sky setup. Apple has never been at these levels. So there's really nothing to chart here and say, oh, expect resistance here, expect resistance there. You can try to make educated guesses based on other indicators. Like I think the one that Knob was saying the ATR on Apple's like 3, but that's obviously out the window today because, well, you can see exactly what the ATR is. Here comes more higher days on Apple. 77s just printed, 78s now HOD, AAPL over 6.5%. This thing has got, well, this thing is going to squeeze. I wonder where the shorts are sitting on this one. You have to assume, the majority of shorts were probably on top at 200 because it had never broken 200. So I wonder if what we're seeing today is kind of mixed with actual buying and a bit of a short squeeze. I mean, I have no proof, obviously, either way, so we'll just watch and comment, but 78's HOD. I'm packing my patience on this one. I think we can hit 206. There's really no reason for me to get out here. Let's hold this into the, the more liquid time of day, see if some more buying can come in. And there's a new high day, Katina, man, 205.80. The highs keep coming in on Apple. This one headed, looks like, to the whole dollar for now, 206. Another high day, now 82s. This thing keeps going up. All right, let's leave that one for a bit and see some other trades here because that one's already doing its own thing. We don't need to monitor that. New high day on the future as well, 19,140. Is that an all-time high? Let's find out here. So many things overlap. I just forget some of these levels. Let's go to the 15. So did we ever get this high, 19,140? What is this? That's 19,129. No, these are all-time highs. Okay, so 4 hour, let's just make sure that that's accurate. What are these levels? No, 19,155. So we have technically a higher high than this one on the June 7th. We got there at around 10 o'clock or so, or 12 o'clock, midday. We got into 155. So technically not an all-time high, but definitely local highs there. Apple is absolutely printing now new high days of 85. Just packing my patience here, Daryl. See if we can get that whole dollar level.
Yeah, shout out to you. Congrats on that. Also, Nvidia, did you hear that all of your Mag 7 friends made a new high of day because, or not new high of day, but they're all pushing higher because you aren't? Yeah, I'm going to be a little bit sassy to Nvidia. This one I just got out. I was like, Adara, you are clearly losing your mind if you're whispering to stocks here. This is just not the vibe. It didn't do what I wanted it to. Took my 10 pennies. I'm not going to pat myself on the back for that, but I'm not going to, be too upset. So you get what you get. You don't get upset. No. It happens. And yeah, you just got to do what you got to do sometimes. There we go. Also, Tesla, I think deserves a round of applause for this was the bamboozler central. I know I said I wanted my low of day break, and Tesla was like, actually, I can give you a double bottom. And I said, that's not really what I wanted, but okay. So I got out of that. It's all good. Tesla, my worst name of the day. My worst name of the day by far. Give it a medal. Don't. But yeah, this was not my name. I had some issues reading this. I have no other plays on this unless something really screams at me. But yeah, I have to say this gorgeous 167.50 bounce is, in a word, gorgeous. Shout out to anybody along this name. You are printing. It's just Tesla and Tesla didn't want to be Besla today for me, and that's all good. I know it was Besla for someone else, and that's what matters. Okay. So yeah, shout out to you as well on that Apple, though. That is great. You are just chomping at the bit of that Apple trade.
Say again. The Katina man is long. I just want to remind okay, so he had a $10 winner. Well, we already talked about, but he's long again. 204, and he's $2 in the money because 205.94 HOD on AAPL. Can you tell I'm excited?
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm pleased to sponge for you.
Well, I'm not excited about this trade.
But you're long.
Yeah, exactly. You could
be excited for both, Sharif.
I can. That's very true. Good point. No, Ram does not want me to be excited for both. All right.
And then she starts hysterically laughing.
I know, right? So I'm going to cover this long at 206 if we get into 206. So let's go ahead and put it at 99s to see if we get that print on AAPL. But there's other stuff that's moving here, guys. And it's essentially every other Mag 7 name except Nvidia is moving up to the high side right now. Nvidia is still locked in that range, as you can see, 120, 175 to the high side, essentially VWAP to the high side. And to the low side, generally that 120 and a quarter. But for most of the prints, 120 and a fifth. A bit of a rejection here on META. It was trying to go green above that 502.5, and now we're getting a bit of a red candle here. So if we get another red candle to make a, new low, I'm going to avenge my L on Meta, and we're going to take this one low for a retracement, but that will have to probably come with a retracement on the future. I don't really see Meta tanking on its own here and the future continuing to make highs. We'll have to wait and see. Tesla looks like it might be recovering into VWAP. So there is a bit of space right now between any other resistance level and the current price action on Tesla. You could make an argument the 169 could be a price action resistance, but it didn't really show you too many 169 rejections today. So we could easily see a retracement into 169 and a third to 169 and a half here on Tesla, because that's where VWAP is hanging out. Now it did reject. There is good, intersection between VWAP and Tesla today. You had a couple of rejections on VWAP from the south side, and that's what kind of we're looking for here, at least to retrace into that area. The trick for me on this Tesla long, if I get long, would be to basically get a better cost basis and not punch in at local highs. I see my Apple trade is done. That means it broke 206. We have a new high of day, Katina man, and he's now $2 in the money, 206. It did, yeah. It did by 50 pennies. Yeah, we have to expect that, Katina, man, because it broke the whole dollar level. But yeah, 206.03, retracing into the 60s right now, high 50s.
You're short Beyond Meat on a report that Beyond Meat is killing
you. Okay, the Katina man is short Beyond Meat. A report came out unflattering to Beyond Meat right now. So let's go ahead, pull BYND. The Katina man is short Beyond Meat. Here it is. Vegan fake meats linked to heart disease, early death study, says the New York Post. Brendo has been saying this for a long time. He has not been a fan. This is not us talking. It is the New York Post releasing this story. Vegan fake meats linked to heart disease. Early death study, reports New York Post. Let's have a look right now at the 5-minute chart on BYND, and there you go. 705 retracement, and Huadunk went the dang dynamite down to 6 3/4, Katina man. Low a day, 6 2/3, 667. Oh, essentially 6 2/3. I think we get a decided break of that. Where is the volume right here on BYND? Yeah, 2 million shares done so far. This candle definitely has by far the biggest one. Get ready. This one could start moving, guys, because, well, a lot of people will probably see this headline and, say, shocker.
You want to be a shareholder? Ask yourself that question.
I don't. I've never wanted to be a shareholder of this company. I've never tasted any of their food, by the way, either. Yeah. Have you ever tried it?
I have a lot of vegan friends, so at some point I probably have had a nibble.
Okay.
I don't have really strong opinions either way, I'm going to be honest with you. It's not a burger. It exists. Yeah, sorry.
I don't think you're commenting on veganism in general. I think you're just commenting on the taste of the
yeah,
food.
Yeah, no, I'm saying I don't really know what it tastes like.
No,
I don't. It's
neither
been a
do I.
while. I have definitely had one at some
You
point.
have,
I've got
eh?
a lot of vegan friends.
Can I tell you?
Tastes like nothing, says Ramin.
Do you remember Licks? The burger joint, Licks.
I don't. Is that a Toronto thing?
I thought it was a Canadian thing. Well, obviously, you guys know what Licks is. Licks used to have one hell of a veggie burger, and that was a legit burger. If anybody in the chat is from Canada and they remember Licks and they remember the veggie burgers, Neil knows. He's shaking. The Katina man knows. He knows what's up. But yeah, Licks used to be the OG joint, and if you wanted a veggie burger, they had one of the best in the country, in my opinion. So, yeah, we'll see. It's not a burger. All right, we're gonna start getting. Yeah, guys, let's stay on topic. I know that there's all sorts of feelings about this topic, but let's just keep it specific to the stock being traded. All right, so Apple new high day retracing now at the 10 period. Let's see what we get here, Adair.
Yeah, also, just so you guys know, I'm short Nvidia. I know I usually don't get short during or as I start a lesson, but that short was too tantalizing. I'll talk about it after the lesson of the day. Right now, it's in the money. Go Nvidia, I believe in you. Thank you, I appreciate that. I will stop weirdly chef's kissing the stock, and I will get to the lesson of the day. Also, as I talk, if you feel an inclination to vote for a stock, to look at the afternoon show, there's a way of doing that because you have 30 minutes left. You go in right now. You go exclamation point join space $, the ticker of your choice. It can be exclamation or it can be all caps. It can be lowercase. Whatever tickles your fancy, whatever tickles your fancy.
Fair.
Meta, Amazon, Google, Apple, that is not an exhaustive list. Any ticker is fair game. You put that in there, you type that in, and maybe we will see the big kahunas and the mustachioed man to my right. Chat about that stock. Yes, Nvidia break 120.
Yes, Adara, nice trade.
I am pleased as punch. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. But you know what also is pleasing as punch? Rising and falling channels. They're really fun to trade, and there can be a lot of opportunities. And so technical analysis can give you a lot of different tools, and this is one of those tools. So this lesson is going to explore how to recognize and how to trade these panels for intraday and or swing trading strategies. Because, yeah, everything's fractal. We talk a lot about these patterns.
Yes.
Fractal. And this is one of those fractal patterns. So let's understand rising and falling channels first. So channel formation. Both patterns are going to involve price action confined within a channel formed by two parallel trend lines. A rising channel is going to be bullish, and this is when you have a channel with an upward sloping trend line, and that will act as support, and a roughly parallel resistance trend line, which is going to act as, it's in the title there, resistance. Prices are going to bounce between these lines and create a series of higher highs and higher lows. Case in point, look at this, bounce, 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 and then we break out. But this is the channel. We do have this upward sloping support, upward sloping bottom line and top line forming a little bit of a resistance support area. And then we have our nice little breakout. So go resistance and support. But what about rising and falling channels? What about this falling channel, right? This is going to be the exact opposite. So you're going to have a downward sloping trend line acting as resistance and a roughly parallel support trend line. Price is going to bounce between these two things like a ping pong ball, creating a series of lower highs and lower lows. And here's an example here. This is what you're going to have. You're going to have the depth or whatever the width of the trend line. You're going to have your main trend line, your resistance line, and your support line. A couple of false breakdowns too, which is why this is a cool chart. And then you have your real breakdown. We go to the downside. Thank you so much as well, Karen Mazulis, for joining Trader TV Live. So happy to have you. Thank you for being a member, and welcome to our lovely little community. But why are rising and falling channels relevant? Because they are. But why are they? Well, we'll tell you. Rising and falling channels can, sorry, I didn't mean for that to sound sassy.
Well, yeah, because you'll giggle. So.
I didn't mean for that to sound sassy, I apologize. But why are these relevant? Well, they signal a continuation of the prevailing trend after a period of consolidation. And they also offer entry and exit opportunities for traders looking to ride the trend's direction, or if you're a bit more of a range trader like someone who sits on this desk, we are going to talk about that in a second. Also, you should watch the Freedom and Wealth podcast at 10 a.m. every single Saturday. You have Sean, you have Brendan to talk about freedom and wealth.
Can I just say one thing?
Yes.
Because this was one hell of a podcast. Yeah, guys, for real, it's not trading specific. It's mentality. It's about side hustles. It's about actually getting the right, the whole setup there. They talk about compounding interest. They talk about mindset. I love the podcast. Make sure you're listening to it. Get into YouTube right now and sub. There were more views than subs, guys, so that can't be the case. We definitely need you guys to subscribe to this. It's one hell, and there's a lot of effort being put into this podcast. Shout out to the Katina man and Brenda.
Yes, shout out to that. And definitely watch that podcast there because it is a little bit more of a behind-the-scenes type of look at freedom and wealth beyond what we see here of us screaming about stocks all day. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, so how do you identify these channels? You want to see that established trend. The key element is going to be an existing uptrend for rising channels or downtrend for falling channels. To confirm this trend using moving averages or trend line analysis or whatever tickles your fans, I keep using this euphemism now, whatever you're seeing for confluence that you like, that's what you have to use. Parallel trend lines are also great. You want to see these trend lines, drawing your trend line at the high or rising channel or a low at the falling channel to define your channel boundaries, your parameters, the little ping pong ball, the ping pong court for which the stock will bounce around willy-nilly, or the price action anyway. These trend lines should be roughly parallel, indicating a period of consolidation within your trend. So how do you trade these channels? Because direction is going to matter, of course. You do want to have your rising channel, which suggests a continuation of an uptrend. So look for long opportunities or buying opportunities near the support trend line or a bounce off of it. Oof. Falling channels are going to suggest a continuation of a downtrend. So you're going to look for some short entry opportunities or selling, or sell, buy the dip, sell the rip, whatever have you, near the resistance trend line or a rejection off of it. Breakouts versus false breakouts. The key signal for a breakout, or its key signal is a breakout above the upper trend line, rising channel, or below the lower trend line in a falling channel. And be cautious, though. False breakouts that quickly reverse back into the channel. Those love to just play with your mind and eat at your profit and steal your soul. But you can't let them. You want to make sure you have all your confluence, all your little ducks in a row before you wet your beak. That pun was very intended. So let's also talk about volume confirmation, because that can also help with your breakouts. So increased volume on that breakout bar compared to the preceding consolidation phase can strengthen your confirmation signal. If you see a lot of volume as you scream to the downside in a downward channel or upside in an upward channel, that's like, hey, this is going to be a big volume break. You've got a lot of sellers interested, a lot of buyers interested. Time to go. That's kind of what you want to see. You want to see that slow volume in that move up, and then when you have your big, that's when you want to see the volume on that volcano to the upside or downside. What about stop loss to take profits? You might want to set a stop loss order just below your support area for long trades and rising channels, or above your resistance for short trades and falling channels. You also might want to consider a trailing stop loss order in order to lock in profits as your trend progresses. Take profit targets can also be set at the opposite trend line or based on technical indicators like fib retracements. Additional tips here. Channel width, which is actually a new thing I learned today. So shout out to Sharif, as always, for putting these lessons together, and for this new fact. So the width of the channel can also sometimes offer clues about this trend's strength, because a narrower channel can suggest tighter consolidation and potentially a stronger breakout. Channel slope is also worth noting. The slope of the trend lines can indicate the pace of the trend. Steeper slopes suggest a more aggressive trend with potentially quicker price movements. And then if you have a slower slope, it's going to be more of a slow burn trend. This is going to be less of a game of tennis and more of a very slow game of ping pong between two people at the senior center. It's going to be a slower trend line. Then you're going to have a little bit more, the trend's not having that really quick progression. As well, combining with indicators can be great. Rising and falling channels are awesome tools, of course, to have, but you want to use them in tandem with some other technical analysis like RSI, MACD, etc., for a more comprehensive trading strategy. You never just want one tool in your tool belt. You want to have a nice, utility belt like Batman full of trading tools. You want to have everything in your roster, in your arsenal. So also other opportunities, and this is, I was really happy to add this part to the lesson, because defined rising and falling channels can often also provide the opportunity for range trading using established resistance and support levels within the channel. So what you can do, this is also how I traded that Nvidia breakout into 1200 on NVDL. What I would do is I would add at the lower end of the channel, take out at the higher end, and then save a piece for the dream for the breakout. That's another way to trade this. However, this range can fall through at any old time. So make sure you have your risk management strategies in place before entering your trade. So that's the lesson of the day. Not Neil's, but ours. And yeah, thank you again to Sheree for putting that together. And thank you everyone for voting for the ticker you want, because you have 20 more minutes.
Exactly. So make sure you're getting in that vote. The afternoon rundown is all about you guys now. So we choose what the main headlines are. Well, we don't choose. The news chooses what the headlines are in the morning, but you choose what we talk about in the afternoon. Headline or no headline, baby. It is dealer's choice, viewer's choice, I should say. Not pay-per-view, of course, but yeah, because there used to be a channel called Viewer's Choice Pay-Per-View, but that's neither here nor there. So make sure you're getting in your vote every day. I'm assuming a lot of people are going to want to hear about Apple and even maybe GameStop and AMC again, because AMC's at high a day, just printed 524. I don't know about GameStop. It's still above 25, so not a bad look there. But yeah, if you guys want those names talked about by the big kahunas when they're locked and loaded at the big desk, you will do your part and vote now, baby. Make sure to get into that chat right now. Hit the exclamation point. Hit the word, type in the word join. Don't hit it. Type the word join and then space and the $sign and enter the ticker of your choice. If it's GameStop, even if you want AAPL, I'm pretty sure the big kahunas will cover that as well, because basically following Apple's look. So that's the look right now. Got stopped at Apple on that long on the break of 205, but it's right above that area again, so I could definitely be persuaded to weasel my way back into Apple if it holds 205. I'm short the Cybertruck here with a very tight stop above the break of 88. I liked the topping tail candle that it put in, but I think it's going to bamboozle me and we could get a VWAP retracement. I've bought 3 more pennies on Tesla before I I got stopped out already, so I didn't have it at 88s. I had it at 85s. And perfect, it stops me and moves right back down. Typical. So we are negative on the day, guys. It's been one of my worst days in a long time, and I didn't have that many bad days lately, but today has been bad. I started off very positive, but we took a little bit more size in some of these trades. So worst day for me on the show in months and months and months, but we'll just deal with it and have to kind of move on. Let's see what Amazon is doing here. It's curling right above the 20 period again and looking to go north this time, but Amazon has been quite bamboozling a little bit. It does also have a bit of a resistance level here, topping tail candles coming into that 185.40, kind of a random area to find resistance there. But when you look at the IB low, then it doesn't become as random anymore, because that is actually the IB low right there. And so that's why we had trouble, and I wasn't cognizant of that. I should have been more alive to that fact. I think now I might start charting the closing print as well as the IB high and low, so that when I zoom in, and sometimes I don't have eyes on the closing print, I'm aware of that level, because when we came into this level on Amazon, I didn't really understand why we were rejecting 40s. Now I kind of get why we're rejecting 40s. So good look, good recovery there on the Zon, looking ahead right back up, possibly into that 186, 185 and change. Still doing the dance right now with Apple at 205. Nothing's really changed, a little bit above, a little bit below, but it's still above the 20 period, and it's held the 20 period every time. So if we come down in 204 and a half, could be another long here. Let's see what we get on AAPL, Adira.
Yeah, I've just been here giving Nvidia really creepy longing looks. I'm going to be really honest with you guys. I'm involved in this name. I have been short since that 120, what was this, like 120.55. I wanted 120.60s, didn't get them, wasn't in the cards, yada, yada, yada. I like the 120.55 various. That's where I got it. I want to say something here with this Nvidia. So I had the long, took 10 pennies on the long, and I was like, I don't want to be in an Nvidia trade while I do the lesson. But I think it's more just I didn't want to be in that Nvidia trade while I did the lessons, I think what it was. So I said to Dara, go ahead, let's switch the style up. If they hate, let them hate, and watch the money pile up. Not that the money's necessarily piled up. But there we go. I took that short. I took 30 pennies on half this position, got out at 120.25. Why? Because of that previous support, then a little bit of resistance shopping, then more support. I said to Dara, take some of your profit there. Then we dropped below into 119.80s, but I said to Dara, you could get lower, I think. Don't just sell because the lesson's starting. If you don't hate this position, don't hate this position. So I didn't. Tesla, not Tesla. I've had such beef with Tesla. I just assumed this was Tesla. No, but Nvidia, in all seriousness, Nvidia, we did get below the 120, then we came back up, and I said, Dara, just hang out in it, just chill. We get back to 120 30s-ish, and then I added at 28s because I was like, Dara, I think we are rejecting a little bit here. I wanted to see what we did at 120 40s. For the most part, we have rejected. That support flipping to resistance, that is something I like when I'm in a short, let me tell you. So nice look there. I obviously did average down a little bit initially. My cost basis was 120.55, it's not rolling 120.41s, but I wanted to add to the position because I'm confident with the position. I don't want to add in all willy-nilly. As Sharif was kind of saying, I definitely relate to this. I've myself had kind of a situation today where initially the trades were going well. I was up on the day. The emotions were on cloud 9. Everything was all good. P&L was all happy. And then we had some Tesla trades. The size was not great. The management was not great. The entries were not great. It is what it is. You know what I mean? But you got to keep learning. You got to keep going. And be more cognizant with adding. I added to this Nvidia because I felt very, very confident about it. I felt very, very good in it. And I said, Dara, this is a level you already liked. Do your thing, 21. To quote Key and Peele sketch, with great power comes great response to Trillatrans. And I'm really trying to make sure I'm using, being responsible in my trades and being careful with my ads. And I think that's the big lesson of the day. I think you have to learn, in addition to our lessons of the day and Neil's lesson of the day, the big lessons you want to have are also just ones you're learning from your own trades and the things your trades are teaching you. Thank you, 1320 Wolf. I appreciate that comment there. We'll see if this short works out. I have no reason to leave right now. As long as we stay below the 60s range, I'm going to be staying here, no problem. Do your thing, Nvidia. I'm okay with that. Also, Eddie R, I've had like the same amount of caffeine as I normally have. I'm not a very caffeinated person, but these markets do fill me with energy. They move with this viciousness, and I am all amped up to have these trades. GameStop, people say. So let's look at GameStop. Lots of people want to look at this GameStop. So GameStop, I'm not shorts on GameStop today. GameStop is laughing in my face, that is for sure. I should have looked at this again because that area I had identified actually served as nice support there, the 2480s. What a look on GameStop. Someone slapping himself in the face. That is Sean slapping himself in the face with all that awesome profit. Shout out to you. Nice look here for GameStop. Oh, maybe I should have used my shorts on that rejection of 25.86. I see you, GameStop. GameStop's going on my side chart. How are you doing?
So, Adara, everybody knew that you were gone on Friday.
What?
Yeah, I know, Katina, man. Everybody knows you were gone yesterday. The OB, the one that Kenob, was in your place. Tell him I want my money, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
So where were you?
I was in an area.
You don't have to tell us where.
Yeah, I was in an area, kind of a smallerish town area, with it was in an Airbnb with I've never had an Airbnb person message you so many times while you're on the trip.
Really?
It was
creepy
not.
host?
Oh yeah, there were cameras.
Yeah?
We found cameras.
Oh yeah.
So,
Isn't that crazy? They do that a lot now. Yeah.
So it was a unique experience. But yeah, I enjoyed having some time off.
Good.
This is my first actual vacation away from the market, so that was kind of weird. It's like when you leave your kid for the first time when you go to the movies.
Were you
and
checking
you're
the
like
markets?
Getting a, oh yeah.
Yeah?
I was on CNBC.
You were checking the markets?
I was looking at my CNBC.
You hear this? She was checking the markets when she was gone. I'm loving this, man. I'm absolutely loving this.
Yeah, I mean.
Fantastic. Is there a standout time? You and I already talked off camera about, that whole thing. Is there a nice time that you want to tell us a little bit about?
Well, yesterday I was back in Toronto and I went to H&M and I exchanged a skirt and then got 3 skirts for the price of the 1 skirt I initially bought.
Ooh.
So, saving money, highlight. I'm not even going to lie, that was the highlight of my vacation. But I also did get some writing done as well, in all seriousness. And honestly, it was nice to have a little bit of me time, but I do love being back here with everybody here in these markets. And shout out again to everyone for helping out while I was away. I really appreciate it. And Obi for taking this seat.
Obi.
And go how to trade. Happy to be back.
So you got some good R&R? And you wrote while you were up there?
I did some writing, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I did some writing by hand because I forgot the mouse to my laptop because my laptop's so old it needs a mouse.
You put pen to paper.
Well, that's what I did,
A lost art. Okay,
yeah,
very nice.
It's fun. I like
do you write cursive or do you print? I bet you write cursive.
I actually print because my cursive is illegible. I can do cursive. I feel like for whatever reason, I think I write faster printing.
Okay, fair. There you guys. Now we're up to date on the Adara Panera vacation. Shout out to her. We love having her back. It was not the same on said floor without Adara. So let's keep her happy so she doesn't leave. No, let's guys, we just printed a new high a day on the future, 19,147, and it has everything pumping to the high side, save and except for Apple. Apple stuck at 205, a little bit above, a little bit below, a bit of a dance right now happening between buyers and sellers, but you can see that nice recovery by Amazon, that nice recovery by Meta. Even MSFT waking up and looking to knock on the door at 429 after we got that midday headline that they're looking at new ways to monetize AI. Goggles is back in Greensville, or was momentarily when it broke into that $0.25 or third of a dollar. Tesla above volume weighted average price. It's really Nvidia, sorry, and Apple. I forgot Nvidia's part of the Mag 7, kind of maybe the most important one so far. Anyway, it didn't really do a whole lot on that, but you can see Tesla really getting a bump there, Softy, and the others as well. But there is an epic tug of war happening at 205 here between buyers and sellers, and has been going on for a while here on Apple. This is a very tight range for a very volatile stock on the day, 6 1/5 in the clear, and we've been really tightly holding this 205 general area. Look at this candle over here at 135, where there's almost non-existent body. There's 2 candles in a row where you can barely see the body of the candles. That's how much of a tug of war happening between buyers and sellers at this level. I mean, any other time would have been like short, 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 but I'm not going to stand in front of this monster on the day. Great look today, obviously, for Apple, and nice to see that there is... Nice to see that there are buyers, really, that want to step in here, because it was just talked badly about, I guess, for so long. And maybe disrespected.
I mean, we were calling it the dead one as of yesterday.
But we were doing it lovingly, kind of to wake it up a little bit, Adara.
Yeah, we were trying to like get it, pep it up.
Yeah. GameStop, high a day, 26.39. Wow, what a recovery there for GameStop. I was looking for resistance here, guys, and we still may get it. This is the opening print on, this is the IB high, if you want to call it that, on GameStop. The IB high takes us into... The level there was 26.24. It is 26.39 right now, HOD, but we are stuck at this 26 1/4, 26 1/3 resistance level. Let's see if we clear it. If we clear it by a large margin, we can now use it for support, or so say the technical analysis books. Let's see, we're at high a day right now. There's definitely a seller at 39 because we're not breaking above it at the moment. AMC, same deal. 5 1/3 HOD. We're 5.29 right now. So this one continuing to print to the high side. It looks like the memes are back, baby. 6% for GameStop and 12.5 for AMC. Great look. Great recovery today, I would say, for AMC, because it was really having trouble with that $5 area. Now maybe we can use that $5 area support, and you can kind of see just the amount of intersection that $5 area has had over the last few days. Going back into late last month, it really has had trouble breaking and holding above that $5 area. AMC, that's the 15-minute look there. New high day, GameStop. This is going, guys, 26.40 now. It's looking to take that level, looking to clear above that IB high. And there it is, baby, 26.75. What a move up for GameStop. All right, we got to pull this up on a trading screen now. We can't keep just talking about it like that.
It does not want a GameStop.
No, it doesn't.
Continuation.
Well, we know, Adara, that there's probably, you know, maybe newer entrants into the short after it started tanking like this. Anything you're getting there, Neil, about GameStop? Nothing, nothing yet. 27.09. GameStop's really moving here, guys. Here we go. Now the tape is starting to pick up, and you can see the book and the volume come in. Now this is where the volatility kicks in. 9%, looking to go 10. All right, the Roaring Man, the Cat Man, he tweeted this picture earlier. I'll put it up in a second. Well, I don't know if we can put it up, but he tweeted a banana learning how to trade options, and that had everybody, you know, talking about that in the chat. So let's see if we can get a nice push up here. It's been an hour or so, I think, since that tweet finally woke up. I guess you could say maybe it did it incrementally, having issues with 27 right now. Here comes 27 again. I'm seeing not too much size there at the whole dollar level, because it already got breached into that 10 penny area. So let's keep watching here to see if we can get some continuity on this name, Adara.
Yeah, I mean, I want to shout out 1320 Wolf, who was asking, did you bet the beat cut Nvidia? I'm out of Nvidia. I'm really happy to say in the money. And this is, I think to the importance of, I think this trade really taught me the importance of confidence when trading. And I say that, when I say that, I don't, obviously you want to have confidence, but I mean feeling so confident, and that's why you add to the position. Tesla, I think I was grasping at teeny tiny cyber straws, and I was like, Adara, it'll work, add. It's like, why are you adding? What are you doing, Adara? What is happening? Just because you want a low of day break doesn't mean you'll get it. You know what I mean? I think that was the issue with the Tesla trade. This Nvidia, meanwhile, I don't know what it, actually do know what it was. I don't want to say, I do know what it was. We were rejecting this 120.50 area for so long. I said, Adara, I think you're going to add to this position. You have no reason to leave yet. Add little nibbles into the position. And that's what I did, right? So this was a bit of a larger position. I was nervous about it just because of how the Tesla situation went. But I was like, Adara, you still feel confident about the position. I think you owe it to yourself to add, to try. Because you're not going to learn unless you try. So added, so keep in mind, started the position 120.55s before the lesson began. Added at 120, I want to say 26s. Then I added again 120.40s. And then I started taking out. So I got some out at 120.13s, some out at 120.19s, rest out at 120.27s. Happy I exited where I did. This ended up being a pretty bullish candle that I got the little bequotters on. So now all of my ducks are out of Nvidia. My ducks are in a row. And honestly, yeah, I'm still down in the day, but that was a nice, I feel like I needed that trade, just kind of be like, hey, Adara, if you believe in something, that's how you need to be trading it, not just because it exists and you have fingers to punch in and out of things. That's not, that's not, no reason to take a trade. So yeah, happy with that Nvidia. I don't have any other read on this right now though, so I'm staying away from it. The range is getting a little bit too choppy, but my levels for Nvidia, in case anyone, cares, 120.40, 120.25, 120.60, 120.80. Those are, and then if we want to get a little bit higher, I think that 120.90 was kind of interesting. Then you get into 120, 120s. So yeah, 121 can do something for Nvidia. Right now though, it's going to be that 120 bounce. Thank you, 1320. I do 1320 Wolf. I appreciate it. Just happy to be here every day and try new things. AMD being the range king. AMD's getting rangy. I abandoned you, AMD. How dare I? No, I had some good trades on this. I just, apparently decided I would rather punch aimlessly into Tesla. No, all jokes aside, I did have some okay Tesla trades. I'm just, beating myself up a little bit, ready to come at it tomorrow and take that Cybertruck in whatever direction it unfolds. But yeah, also, you have 4 more minutes left, guys. If you want to vote for a ticker of your choice.
Thank you for that, Dara.
How do you do that, you may ask?
There you go.
Exclamation point, join, space, Tesla, Microsoft, AMC, Meta, Amazon, Nvidia, Google, Apple, whatever ticker you want. I'm assuming GameStop will be up there. All you have to do is go in there, but you only have until 1:50, so you have 4 minutes left. And then the top 5 tickers will be spoken about by both Neil and Sean. And Sharif will be on the green screen to guide you all through it with his mustache, which is, again, not a ticker, guys. How are you doing?
I like how you have to throw that in there.
It's really entertaining to me. It has its own, it's like...
My buddy's like, grow out the scruff and then put the stash on top, layer it. I'm like, all right, okay, I'll give that a try. I have no problem trying new stuff. Like this, the scruff, so you don't shave the scruff. You kind of leave the 5 o'clock shadow with the stash on top there. Well, I don't care, Ram. I'm doing what I want. That's the way it is. All right, guys, leave me alone, Ram. GME's moving up here nicely. There we go, new high day. I got weaseled out of this one, so I had a nice trade on it there. Took this one mid-80s, covered at 27, and then I got stopped out, obviously. There goes GameStop. It's squeezing, guys. Big move up here for GameStop. Watch out. Things are moving, and it's squeezing, baby. I'm going to sit here. Let's see if I can get filled at the third of $1 to see if I can get a better cost basis over here. Nice movement up. 27.64 HOD on GME. This one really, a lot of tape teleportation here. I'm sitting at the third of $1 trying to get filled. Oh, probably don't want to do that too much. There we go. All right, still waiting for that fill. Looks like there's a buyer. Okay. Well, there was a buyer at 43s. Here we go, mid-30s. No, so it's not printing me. And there we go. Now I'm printed. So let's see if we can move up here. 27 break and I'm out. I'm going to risk 33 pennies. There we go. Nice move up. Let's see if we can get something in the mid-50s. I'm going to put an out there at the higher end of the area. Let's see. Are we above 50 yet? Here comes 50. Here. Oh, so we did go above 50 and then it tanked right back down. I have to wait for 27. I'm going to give this one to 27. We're long at 34s. I have something at 58. Let's see if we can get that continuity. I'm not going to defend 27, so this is going to have to hold at 27, not with the day that I'm having. At the 40s right now, it was up into 64. I'm waiting at 58. We'll see if we can get that continuity there, Adara. It is up 10 1/4 now, and a whole lot of volume jumping in here midday. Shout out to the Catman.
Yeah, shout out to Roaring Kitty. No, Catman. But yeah, because I love that Shreve's calling him Catman now. I get such a kick out of that.
Keep my eye on this.
But yeah, AMD. I got long AMD because I was like, we're bouncing off the 90 MA. It looked nice. And then it was like, yeah, Adara, cool. I get that. I'm going to keep going lower here. I'm like, okay. I want to see what it does because this is a level I already liked, the 60s area. If we bounce off you up, I would rather not have to wait that long. I would just rather AMD like bounce or get me out. You know what I mean? But I think, honestly, I have an issue where I frequently do not risk enough. And that's where I start making questionable decisions, like getting back into trades, whatever, right? So there we go, AMD giving me that bounce to the upside. I want to clarify too, because I saw something in the chat. I don't think my Nvidia trade was necessarily too gambly. It was levels I really liked. And I think it's just, the thing is too, is like, I think I need to work on risk management. I think there's definitely something I want to work on, but I also don't want to hold myself back from trades I like just because I've had a bad day for other reasons, right? And obviously that didn't work out for Tesla, but it did in the case of Nvidia, because Nvidia I was a lot more patient for. So I think the thing I want to learn from this is patience. And again, I do appreciate everyone in the chat, because always, everything you see always makes you reflect and think on stuff. You know what I mean? And so that didn't make me reflect on that Nvidia. I added to Nvidia, and I will say some of the adding in Tesla, I admit, was of a deeply questionable nature. And I've said that, and I don't necessarily like a lot of what I did in Tesla. But with Nvidia, it's because I had those bad Tesla trades. And I could go and be like, hey, Adara, this Nvidia makes sense. You really like this. You have that confidence. You have that confidence, whatever you want to say. And that's how you can add in. So I just wanted to say that, because I think it's really, and that's what I think one of the benefits of being able to be in front of a chat like this is everything can kind of help you reflect and learn and grow. And so, yeah, I think because of the bad Tesla trades, oddly enough, I think that's how I was able to take that NVDA. So I'm down in the day, but I'm not gonna hopefully lose any sleep over it. No, all jokes aside, I will not be losing any sleep over it. But I think because you do learn from the bad trades as well. As I say, I'm trying to turn P&L into progress and learning.
All right.
Good look on that. AMD hold.
All right, we're printing nicely on GameStop here. We're long at 34s. We took out some at 60. It's been at as high as 88s. I don't want to overstay my welcome here on GameStonk, but we are at highs, and this is looking like a squeeze. We don't have a red candle on the 5 for the last like 20, 25 minutes. Obviously, on the 1 is a different story. I'm long 34s, sorry, not 33, so I have to account for that. I'd like it to clear it by some distance at least, so I have a bit of a buffer, but it's coming into my area again, so I'm going to have to decide whether or not I want to get out here, because I don't want it to go against me. And now it is going against me. It's at 33s right here. Does it hold? So I'm going to get out there, break even on the rest. Now back to Apple. Printing on Apple, long, baby, at 60 off the 20 period. 20 pennies in the money on this name. 2 trades at the same time. 25 pennies. Go, Apple. Go, baby. Back into 205. We're looking for that retracement back into the whole dollar level. Again, this trade here on AAPL was looking for a 20-period retracement. That was the precipice for the trade. Here comes 205 on the dead one. Let's see if this one can move in. We're 35 pennies in the money now. We're about to go 40. And there it is. Adara will take that out at 96. Is pleased as dang punch on this Apple trade. Still very negative on the day, and there's no doubt about that, but we're going to trade until the last minute. 205 reclaimed here on AAPL. 206.03 is the HOD on the day, so we're still $1 and a penny away from that area. Shout out Daryl Finch, baby. Sharif, I'm with you on Apple. Let's go. That's one hell of a hammer candle, wouldn't you say, Daryl? So pleased about that. Sad about this GME trade. Should have definitely got out some in the 80s there to wet my beak, but we did what we did on it. So whatever. This GameStop trade is not done yet, Adara. This thing is still going. This thing is still going. I don't know why 27.88 would be the top. I mean, I don't personally think that that's going to be a resistance area. I think we see some sort of whole dollar level here. Maybe a 30. 30 seems appropriate. I don't know. anything rather than 27.88. Seems like a random area to have a stop. 5.45 as well on AMC. I want to mention the sister company over here. They're both getting squeezes, baby. And this is why some people started trading in the first place. It was that AMC trade, that GME trade that got you into the markets. Maybe that's not why you stuck around, but it's super nostalgic for me. Maybe it's nostalgic for you. So I love to see these names run. I'm not advocating their fundamental case. It is a technical trade. It's an intraday trade. So do what you will with that. 5.41 right now on AMC. 5.45 high a day. The memes are still around, baby. We still got the memes. I'm happy about that.
Yeah, we're memeing it up over here. Also, yeah, to quote Killer Cam, the market is a better place when the memes are running. The memes certainly keep it fun, let's put it that way. And it's been really exciting. This is my first meme cycle, so I'm really happy to be a part of it. Also, Sharif, your comment about sister companies gave me an idea. And, you know, GME and AMC execs, if you're listening, why don't they actually just do something together?
Oh.
Like, what if there's a collaboration? One is a movie theater, the other is a game company. You're telling me that isn't physically possible?
I actually like that idea.
I think it's a good idea.
It's actually a really good idea. I think it would play into both their themes. They both court the retail investor. There's no question about that. Don't convince me they're not trying to court them. Say that again, Ram? What?
She's saying they could make like an interactive like game, like the Black Mirror Bandersnatch show.
I like that.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Ramin, get yourself a job in the AMC and GME headquarters.
We need her here, Adara. Stop giving her ideas. Like, you know what this place
But yeah, I think that's kind of a cool idea. So I think, yeah, that's pretty cool. Also, it's funny, we just talked about AMC. I am over here on AMD. AMD, I would like you to get a little bit higher, just a skosh, just like 30 pennies higher. I'd be pleased as punch. I would love that 159.40 area. Happy with what I did with this. Again, I need to, you know, we had a little bit of time to reflect on the Tesla. And yeah, like I said, not super happy with a lot of what it was because I do think, I don't want to say they were gambling because I did like levels on all of them. I wasn't playing the levels appropriately. I didn't like where I was adding. But I feel like with this Nvidia trade, I was able to come here, find levels I liked, and trade in a more appropriate way. That's what I want to do going forward. That's going to be my takeaway from this day, in addition to those bad Tesla trades, because I will, you know, hopefully learn from those. But yeah, I mean, good times. You got to learn a little bit every single day.
Is Oracle reporting after the bell today?
They are, which was kind of a surprise plot twist.
So you have to catch the market recap shows of the Katina Man today. It is. It's Sean today with Adara on the market recap show. Oracle, a heavily followed name. We know that they're huge, obviously, in cloud and many other areas. So Hangout, it's one of the, like, I don't want to call it a bellwether, but it's very, you know, it's important in the market. You know, we're not in the midst of earnings season by any means. We're definitely at the tail end of things, but catch that with the Katina Man, with Adara on the market recap show. It will probably present us with good trades tomorrow. So keep your eye on Oracle, and I'm definitely going to be looking at that earnings report to see how they're doing, obviously, because that is an important sector at the moment. Softy is back into high a day, and now it's up 0.25%. I really like this one earlier. I traded it very badly, as you can see here. I had the right idea, terrible execution, 429.10. This one looks like it's going to hit 430. What's the all-time high on the soft one over here? Just so I have my own idea. Okay, so we're not off. We're not really that far off all-time highs. Excuse the, what's it called? The pivot points. This here, May 23rd, all-time high, 434.75. So 430, definitely a local top. As you can see, this is a 430 top over here. This is 430, and you can see most of the closing prints south of that level. And, you know, we have a few days that wick above 430, but that is definitely a local resistance level on a closing basis, 430 on MSFT. Let's have a look at what AAPL is doing, still above 205. I wonder how this one closes out the day. You know, does it close near highs? I think we probably definitely get a candle that likely closes near the high a day. It just seems that way for Apple. There hasn't been a whole lot of selling. Microsoft is retracing into the volume weighted average price. Keep your eye on that. Meta is well above VWAP and the closing print yesterday, so it's recovered off early lows. Goggles as well broke through 175 and took VWAP, which were both at that same level, and yesterday's closing print. There was a lot of resistance at that 175, and Google didn't care about any of them. And it continued to print. 170 could be coming in here for TSLA. Good recovery now, retaking VWAP. Looks like on a closing basis, 170 was a local resistance level this morning in the 10 o'clock time slot there, multiple topping tail candles through it. And then NVDA, last but certainly not least, the beast, Nvidia, has just done what it couldn't do essentially all day. Touched the volume weighted average price. It finally broke through it on a wick basis, not a closing basis, but definitely some higher lows coming in on that Adara. As I finish my recap, I will send it off to you, and I will see everybody at the big screen.
Yeah, see you at the big screen. Thank you so much, Sharif. Happy to be back here with you on this desk. Also want to show you Sharif's awesome trades today on that Apple, that GME. I know he was saying go Apple, go GME. I'm going to say go Sharif. So nice look to that. Yeah, it's been quite the day. I'm happy to be back here on this here desk, and I do want to shout it again, everyone here, just in general. It's great to be back with this community. I did get out of AMD basically flat. I didn't like the topping tail candle, and what I've learned is I have to trust my instincts. I had the same situation in Tesla earlier today where I was like, oh, well, I should get out flat. And then I was like, well, Adara, it could move. Yeah, no, I should have gotten out flat, right? So I think sometimes you have to learn how to trust yourself. If you don't feel super comfortable in a trade, why are you in the trade? So that's a huge thing. I've learned a lot today. Excited to reflect on that coming in again tomorrow. We only have about 15 seconds left, though, so hope everyone had a great day. I'm so happy to be back here with everyone. Oh, but no, it's all good. Yeah, I will. Thank you, Ramin. Shout out to Ramin and Fabian and everyone here. What are people looking at here as we get to the end? Alex Diaz saying, love the energy here, Trader TV. Yeah, I mean, we're all energized, but everybody here watches. So thank you guys for all your support. I learn a little bit every single day. Palantir as well. So people saying, wow, Palantir. Let's look at this Palantir. Yeah, Palantir moving to the upside here. But you know what else we're going to move on to is the green screen. See you guys tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. Let's take a look at Sharif and his stuff.
Welcome to the afternoon rundown where you decide what we talk about every day on the afternoon. The big kahunas, they're locked, they're loaded, they're ready to look at the tickers that